Me, Demetra K. Thank you so much for being here. I am with Donovan the Black Yule, Brenner Sadiq. Bald is the Eagle's booty.
But it feels so good.
Just bald. You feel the breeze
Yeah.
in
Oh
there?
man, it
Yes,
feels
yes.
so good. So good. Trust me. And here's the secret. I won't age. 10 years from now, I'll pretty much look the same.
So anyway, I am Demetra K, and this is the Demetra K Show on this beautiful Sunday. And I should say to everyone, Happy Savior's Day. It is now going on. I believe Farrakhan is still speaking. It sounded like he was closing it up right before I came on here. So again, Happy Savior's Day to you all. You guys, please catch that message if you get a chance. I caught the message, and that's actually where my talking point comes from today. I'm saying half of who?
No, he's seeing half me because I'm over here. Well,
Oh
the thing
yeah,
is, because I'm still putting the show up on a podcast, so I'm kind of leaning this way, but I'll move over in a
yes,
second.
he'll move over. And do I smell?
No, 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 no.
Oh,
And then she's showing them fangs. So I don't want to add, y'all.
you're right. Showing no things.
We're trying to get views up.
Right. So anyway, that's where my message came from, as a derivative, if you will, of the Savior's Day address. And so anyway, I also like to say thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything that he does behind the scenes. You are
Awesome.
much loved and appreciated. Also, hello to everybody on all of the podcasts. Thank you for joining us. And
Yes.
to YouTube, if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel for more insightful commentary. And to Facebook, the Ride or Die audience, the other side of the conversation, thank you for being here.
Yes, if you guys got Amazon or Google Home, a lot of people have been calling me, say, how do I, do that? All you got to do is put in the Demetra K Show podcast. You got to put podcast in there, and they will start playing
You will
your
see
show.
it.
Right.
Okay.
It'll start, but you got to put podcast. You just can't say the Demetra K Show. The Demetra K Show podcast. And
Okay,
it'll come
got
up
it.
on Google Home and all that.
Yes. Okay. And so anyway, I'm going to get to every last one of you guys' comments. And so as you guys all know, we are knee deep in election season. We're going to continue to talk about
Bernie smashed them. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, we'll get into that. So we're going to continue talking about things about the election, but specifically my message. And I should also say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all the things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, right? So that's what we strive to do here. So anyway, let's get to it, right? So you guys know that is election season. And even before Farrakhan said what he said, and I'm going to you guys get into that in just a second. I was reading a lot of articles about all of these black leaders, I should say loosely in quotations, that are coming out for, let's say, Mike Bloomberg, right? And we kind of talked about it a little bit on Friday, but I don't want to say I'm amazed at the amount of black leadership that's coming out for him, but it's just like, they're so obvious with it. And so let me digress here. So Farrakhan said Black people need leaders that can't be bought, right? And so we've seen all these Black leaders, as I said, come out for Mike Bloomberg, and one would think like, why? What's in it for them? Well, some of them has gone on record, and it's been exposed that a lot of these leaders, Black leaders, quote unquote, have gotten money, campaign,
dropping out money.
Yeah, campaign money and all kind of stuff. One of those people is Stacey Abrams. You guys have probably heard of Stacey Abrams. Yes, Stacey Abrams. She was running for the governor of Georgia, running for the governor of Georgia, and she narrowly lost, from what they're saying. And
you're still a loser. At the end of the day, you're a loser.
Yeah, so she narrowly lost, and so she has this initiative called Fair Fight, where they go out and try to stop voter suppression and a whole bunch of stuff like that. And so Mike Bloomberg gave her initiative, $5 million. But she says, as of now, from what I understand, she hasn't endorsed him, but it's like, come on. Not only did he give that initiative, her and Stacey Abrams' initiative, $5 million, he gave her campaign in 2018 $500,000. And so we all know that when somebody gives you money, whether it's a lobbyist, because in that capacity, that's what Mike Bloomberg was, a lobbyist, if you will. Hey, I'm going to give you this money, and eventually I'm going to need you to do something for me, right?
Hopefully that favor will never have to ask you for that favor.
Yes.
Hopefully that day will never come.
Right. So she hasn't said she's against Mike, but she says, I haven't endorsed anybody yet. But it's like, come on. We're not stupid, right? And then you have Gregory Meeks. He is a representative.
Loser.
He's also black, a representative, and he says, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he says, "Well, we know that Mike Bloomberg made some mistakes, but at the end of the day, we know he was only doing the stop and frisk to save lives. He was only trying to save lives." So I'm like, okay, well, what's in it for you? So I'm assuming, eventually it'll come out exactly why this Gregory Meeks is, now taunting the praises of Mike Bloomberg, if you will. We also know that a copious amount of Congressional Black Caucus members have endorsed Mike Bloomberg, Bobby Rush being one of them. Who else do we have? Someone by the name of Lucy McBath has endorsed him. Um, Bobby Rush is, guys, most of know him from the original Black Panthers. He was one of the co-founders of the original Black Panthers, and he has just completely bought in
Yes.
to the system.
Why not?
And I think, to me, this is the final nail in the coffin of who he used to be. Endorsing someone like Michael Bloomberg. And let me digress for those of you guys who, let's say, don't know who Michael Bloomberg is. He was a 3-time mayor of New York City. He also is the father of stop and frisk in New York City. And I would go ahead to say this tri-state area where it was fashioned to stop black men and brown men, harass them, if you will, walking down the street, minding their business to make sure, because in his ideology was because they could be going to commit a crime. So we need to stop them and see if that's the case. And so,
which totally is illegal. You can't assume a crime has to be made,
right?
Because isn't there a movie? Wasn't that a movie, Artificial Intelligence, or the one with Tom Cruise, where the person hasn't done a crime, but they thought about doing a crime, and he would go after them before they actually did the crime.
I don't know.
I forgot the name of the movie. You guys know what I'm talking about. But you have to do the crime before they could
Right.
come get you.
Right. So, and we know that about 95% of the arrests were baseless. There was nothing to them. As I said before, some men individually were stopped 20 to 30 times apiece. Khalif Browder, if you guys aren't familiar with his story, he's no longer here. He committed suicide, but as a 16-year-old, he was one of the victims of stop and frisk, sent to Rikers Island without even going to trial or anything for 3 years before they let him out, and he could not cope with all of the things that he had endured while he was in Rikers Island, and he eventually killed himself. So that story is on Netflix.
Right, and also remember it was Mike Bloomberg that held up the Central Park Five's settlement.
Yes,
that was Mike Bloomberg.
Right. So Mike Bloomberg is not a good person. Of course, he talked about black people being a large cause of the 2008 recession because they got rid of redlining in some areas that did not allow black people to buy real estate in certain areas. And so he's not a good dude, but yet you have all these black leadership people, if you will, coming out for him. Another one is the mayor of Houston, Sylvester Turner, who has turned out to just not be a friend of black people. I guess Mike Bloomberg has a thing called Mike for Black America, a program going on in Houston, and Sylvester Turner is, holding on to his coattail too. And the unfortunate part about black leadership is
lacking.
Well, we know that is lacking, but a lot of those people that I just mentioned are very influential, especially to let's say the older generation, right? They're very influential, and what these people say, these so-called black leaders, those people will go along with it because they figure, oh well, if somebody like Sylvester Turner or Stacey Abrams, which people love Stacey Abrams, white, black, whatever, they see her as this beacon of hope.
The people in our generation and above.
Right. Well, they see her as this beacon of hope to get rid of voter suppression and this, that, and the other. But, if you're looking at it from a black point of view, Stacey Abrams is one of those all lives matter type people. And so she really, I don't want to say she doesn't have the black people's interest at heart. She doesn't solely have our interest at heart, if you will. So, but yeah, she's a big recipient, if you will, of Mike Bloomberg, and that to me is very telling. And so let's take somebody like Stacey Abrams, who people really look to. You see her on all these television programs, The View, and all this other stuff. So she has a wide reach, But eventually, I don't doubt that she will come out and say, "Hey, let's go ahead and vote for Mike Bloomberg."
Yeah, Kamala Harris all over again. It's
Yeah.
what's really funny about that people in the South know that this systemic racism goes on. They
Hmm.
know it, okay, but yet they do not fight it. They just go along with the flow of what's going on. I'm not saying her efforts aren't admirable and she's trying to change anything, but you're not, you know,
But why fight for voter suppression? And I'm gonna get to you
right.
guys' comments.
That's where
Why
I'm
fight
going.
for voter for suppression if you're going to take money from a guy who suppressed black
That's
people?
where I was going.
You know, it's
Exactly.
like to me the messages don't jive, and so you know, and especially in the South, and no shade to anybody in the South, but the South has a whole like we all have issues as black people, but the South has a lot of issues. And then you have all these so-called leaders that come out of the South who talk a good game, but eventually they get slid the right amount of zeros, and then they start to flip their message and they say, okay, I know I told you we need to do this, but now we're gonna do that. And
remember when Trump won election, how many of the black bootlicks, then pastors and stuff went up there? It's the same, it's just crazy how the slime bags, dirt bags come out of the woodwork just to get a payday.
And that's what Farrakhan also talked about, the pastors and the preachers who are, for Trump, if you will. And he did a nice little segment on Trump. I think everybody should check it out. But all the pastors who have been bought by Trump to go out and sell out black. So they've sold out, but they want to sell black people out for 30 pieces of silver, if you will. And so what I would like to say is, we need to hold those leaders, those so-called leaders, and I'm saying that loosely, we need to hold them accountable at the polls, because the local and the state elections are what really impact us the most. And so you have these representatives who we are putting in office, and they're going to Washington, and they're not, for one, they're not doing what we would like them to do, especially for black people, our district and black people. But now they're going up and forgiving a dude who made a lot of people's lives pure hell.
Yes.
Last week we talked to
Never recovered.
A few guys that came on here and said they were victims of the stop and frisk. And so here you are, you have and Cindy, I want to know from you, how do you feel knowing that these so-called black leaders are saying, oh, well, he was just trying to save lives. I know what you did.
Well, most of the crime happened in the black community, so he went in there to try to clean it up.
Yeah, but you have somebody like Gregory Meek saying, "Well, I know you were just trying to save lives, and so we accept your apology." How does that make you feel?
How is he speaking for the rest of us?
Well, that's what I'm saying, and so that's what I'm saying. You have black leaders who, leaders again, I'm saying that loosely, who will get up on their platform and pretend or pass themselves off like they're speaking for the rest of us, and they're not speaking for the rest of us, but there's a lot of people who will go, like I said, Mike Bloomberg is trending third behind Sanders and Biden, when the dude just got in the race less than a month ago. Now all of a sudden he's doing great with black people. How is he doing great? And I think part of it is because you do have these black leaders who are, saying, well, he said he was sorry. And then there's this other thing, I'm going to get to your comments right after this. There's this other thing that I've heard trending. There's no such thing as a perfect candidate. We got to pick somebody.
Lesser of two evils.
Yeah, but it's like, well, do we? Right. Do we have to pick somebody?
And then both parties are using the scare tactic of, oh, that's a socialist thing, and it's so. Here's what's really sad. People do not know the difference between communism and socialism. Communism is a form of government. The Chinese government is communist, but their economics is capitalist. Now, here in America, generation fail and above. Oh, I'll never. You want to get Trump out of there, but I'll never vote for Bernie if he's the nominee, whatever, because he's for socialism. Some of the most popular programs in the United States are socialist. Social Security, Medi-Cal.
Right.
That's a socialist program.
Right.
And so these people don't understand the difference between the different things. Socialism is an economic system where everybody shares the burden, where capitalism in its pure form is brutal.
Right.
Dog eat dog.
And so, Sydney, you say, what's up, fam? What's happening, Sydney? And Andrew, what's going on? Shalom to you as well. Donovan, you should be
Fired.
fired. Fix the camera, so we saw that. And
Mhm.
Steve, what's happening? Says, hey, Queen D and Brother Donovan, what up? Sydney says, just fired him. Hey, Ricky. He says, sup, Don.
That
And then you say the minority.
Minority Report was the movie, right?
Okay,
Right.
that's the one you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Mhm.
Okay, cool, cool. And the car, what's going on? He said, perhaps the field is purposely saturated to further divide us. More importantly, I don't forgive Mike. Yeah, I don't
Mhm.
either. And I don't think neither, but
Nobody should.
I mean, forgive him, I guess, but vote him in, hell no.
Yeah, well, okay, forgive, but don't forget.
I mean, I'm not going to forgive him,
Yeah.
but, you know,
But don't forget what he did.
we going to vote him in?
Yeah. How many lives have been destroyed? Doesn't that matter?
Lots.
Doesn't that
And
matter?
not only destroyed, but like that's traumatizing to have to walk down the street and wonder if today is the day. Okay, I know especially if you've been stopped 20 or 30 times,
Mhm.
but is the stop going to land me in jail?
Mhm.
You know, and I'm gonna have to prove I didn't do something because I fit the description or whatever.
You got to think about this: when a black person is stopped, number one, we're already hypersensitive and we're on hyper alert as well. So the minute they stop you, let's say they just don't like you, what do they charge you with? Resisting arrest.
Right, they'll find something.
Yeah, something.
And we know,
battering an officer, even though you just said, "Hey."
Right.
You're pulling my arm, but I'm pulling my arm back. Oh, that's battery and officer.
Well, we also know, that especially the New York, a lot of New York precincts are notorious for fabricating stuff on innocent people.
What?
So, yeah, I mean.
Are you sure?
Positive.
If it's in the report, it's got to be. What?
No.
You sure?
Positive. Yeah.
They're fabricating reports.
They're lying on people. Just straight up lying.
Wait. So when he says that the person ran and then I shot, body cam turned off.
Yeah.
Oh, got it. The body cam. That's when the body cam went, and then he puts in the narrative after that.
And so, hi, Tori, and they are sharing the link. So if you are in the watch parties, please come over here and comment so I can see your comments. And hey, Herbert, what's going on? Me and Herbert have become friends. We have been conversing over the phone.
Is that? Did you get Al's permission? Al, watch what's love got to do with it.
Stop it. So how are you today? And Stevie says, hell no, we don't want Bloomberg. I don't forgive him for that. That isn't Russia. That isn't Russia or any communist state. Yeah, I mean, but again, these are the people we call our leaders. And we keep voting them in. But the good thing, and Farrakhan talked about this. He says that Trump is exposing a lot of things, and he talked about this even before, like when Trump first got into office. He said
upsetting the apple cart.
He is upsetting the apple cart, and it's exposing a lot of things, and it's forcing especially Black people to come to terms with what's really going on, and it's forcing a lot of people to come to terms with what's going on with the Trump presidency. He talked about how Trump really wants to be king. He wants to be a king. And we know the difference between a king and a president. They want people to bow down, and they want to rule over everything. I have the final say and all that.
Didn't Omarosa say that? You guys will bow down.
I don't know who she was talking to, but
in all his greatness.
Yeah, so a lot of what I mean by things, a lot of things are being exposed, or a lot of these people, especially a lot of these Black leaders, are being exposed because a lot of times people run for office for what? For what reasons? For prestige, power, and money.
Right, access to the power.
Yeah,
to the money.
And so we know that a lot of these Black leaders, and I know a lot of leaders do, but we're talking about Black leaders. A lot of these Black leaders want to be next to the source. That's why you see all these pastors who are supposed to be leading their flock, to glory, if you will, are up under somebody like Trump, saying Trump is all right and this, that, and the other, negating the whole separation of church and state and all of that. But it's exposing these people for who they really are. They don't give a damn about Black people. They only give a damn, and that's what Farrakhan talked about too. And we talk about this a lot here, how a lot of Black people individually are well off, but we all need to be well off as a people collectively.
When we look at the curve, the bell curve.
Yeah, well, it's like what curve?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't have one, and so a lot of times, and that's what these a lot of these Black leaders are doing. They're like, well, I'm good. Mm-hmm. I'm well off. But what about the district that you are representing? Your district, as Donovan would say, with somebody like Maxine Waters. Now I know a lot of people love Maxine Waters, Auntie Maxine. She's reclaiming her time.
Oh, sorry. Got to get my wig together. Get it straight. Get it straight, girl.
She's reclaiming her time and all of that. But if you look at her district,
Haven't heard from her in over a year.
yeah, she's like gone away. She's supposed to be the chairman of the finance committee and all. She's supposed to be holding Trump
Wait.
accountable.
And then ask yourself this: why would you put her in charge of the finance committee when she was censured by the Congress for financial misdealings with her and her husband?
Money publicans. Okay, they're all about the money, right?
I'm going to cut you off, but it's really funny how people who are watching the show now, there's a lot of people, they didn't know this stuff.
Right. But Maxine Waters' district is among the worst. But yes, she's doing among the best as far as, money and, she's got this, I guess, kind of new fame, found fame, if you will. Everybody loves Auntie Maxine because she don't take no mess from Trump. She tells Trump
Maxine Waters is worth, they say, $60 million
roughly
and counting. Now that's just her. Now her husband, that's a different story.
But drive through her district. Drive through her district.
So if you guys are watching football, where that new stadium is, where the Chargers and the Rams are going to play, that's her district.
Now what's going on? And Ricky, I'm gonna get to your comment. So in her district, where this new stadium is a lot of gentrification going on.
There was a lot of homes there, black homes.
That people cannot afford to live there. We tell you guys about the story all the time about the man whose house was near the new stadium. His rent for a long time was, I think, under $1,000. It tripled. It tripled because of the new stadium, because there's not a lot of rent control laws in California. There are some
when it comes to rentals, when it comes to rentals.
So you have to move with his sister. And do you know that her rent went up as well?
And they still couldn't afford it. Two people with an income.
So this is in Maxine Waters' district, but yet, so again, we go back to talking about individually, a lot of black people, well, not a lot, but, quite a few black people are doing well. But as a whole, black people aren't doing well.
Right. And then in her district where that stadium was built, follow the money. I almost know for a fact the developers that are part of that stadium project, guess where they donated to?
Where?
Not Maxine's campaign.
Are you sure?
You know what? I haven't even seen the forms, but I know that that's what went down. You will find donations from those developers.
Right. And Ricky says, me and my wife at the time got stopped and frisked in Brooklyn's Crown Heights while Bloomberg was mayor. I felt horrible because I could not crack a motherfucker across the jaw for upsetting my wife. I couldn't do anything but hold her until she stopped crying. Yeah, and so that's the other story. I'm glad you brought that up too, Ricky. That's the other story people don't tell, because a lot of times when we hear that black and brown men were stopped,
that's normal.
Well, we often think they were by themselves. I'm just walking along, going to get a soda or whatever. I'm by myself. But oftentimes, those men were with their wives and their children. Imagine okay, your wife, that's horrible. But imagine your children. You're walking down, because a lot of people in New York, they don't have cars, so you walk, right? So let's say you're with your children and then you get pulled over and thrown up against the wall, as Mike Bloomberg said to do. Throw them up against the wall, and Trump too.
Trump says rough them up.
Yeah, but this is going on in front of your children, and to your point, I'm helpless. There's nothing I can do.
Well, think about this. Okay, you're with your children, and let's say they do put a charge on you. Now they've got you in cuffs. The kids see that, which is traumatic. Now you got to get somebody to come get your kids, or the state gets them, which is a traumatic experience for the children as they're being taken down to the station or wherever they're doing.
Right.
It's
and then
sad.
You have someone like Gregory Meeks, who says, well, we know you were just trying to save lives. No, what you did, Mike, was kind of bad. And, we know you're sorry. You said you're sorry, but we know you were just trying to save lives. But you got someone like my friend Ricky here, who his wife at the time is traumatized. And I'm sure that's something she, and I know you, will never forget. The countless amount of people who were with their children will never forget watching dad being thrown up against the wall, roughed up and frisked and questioned. And, those police officers, a lot of times we see that they have no regards for the children. No. They don't care about doing that to their dad.
And think about this as a man, your manhood. You're, this leader of your family, and, you're a strong black man, whatever, or a black or whatever, strong father in your figure. And then you're in public and this person emasculates you
Well,
in
and
front of
that's
those
but
people.
that's part of the whole
Yeah.
situation.
Mhm.
That's part of racism, especially in regards to black men, is to emasculate
Mhm.
them. So I mean, that's not something rare because that was what was done on the plantation.
Right.
We will
But how does that
emasculate you.
affect your children, the people who
Well,
see that, you know?
it's supposed to
Yeah,
affect your children.
exactly.
I'm not saying that we agree with it. I'm
Yeah.
saying it's supposed to affect your children because we want, and I'm speaking from the ideology of a Mike Bloomberg or police. We want them to see that daddy ain't shit.
Shit.
Daddy
Mhm.
can't save you. We always gonna have the upper hand, and this gonna be you next.
Okay.
And therefore, we
Preach.
don't want you to rise up because
Right.
this is gonna be you. So that so it's a
Good.
subliminal
Yeah,
thing
message.
that's being sent to the kids, which is why a lot of times we've seen the videos, they don't care the kids are there. I mean,
Nope.
it seems like it's almost like they go harder on the father or whoever it is that's being roughed up because of the kids are there.
Mhm.
So that's very traumatic. And so we have these people being our black leaders, so called, are telling us it's okay. It's okay. He's sorry. Everybody, this is another thing. Everybody deserves a second chance. That's what they're saying. Everybody deserves a second chance, but it's like,
Lord, even though the Satan has just done everything against you, he needs a second chance.
uh-uh.
Give the Satan a second chance to do more evil.
There's something wrong with us. Not all of us, but a lot of us. And so, Ricky, you say, uh, let's see, he says Bloomberg trying to rally for black voters and he think we're predators. The police was stopping women too, yes,
Mhm.
with that shit. And I've seen male cops frisking women way too long. I have real hate for that dude. Yeah. And again, and that's the other part of it. Because a lot of times we know that it was targeting black men, but hell, we know black women were targeted. I
Mhm.
tell you guys all the time that I've been racially profiled by police on a few occasions
Okay.
for doing absolutely nothing. And they couldn't even tell me why they tried to make up something. Oh, we thought you were somebody else. Really, how? You were going that way, and I was going out.
Mhm.
How did you think I was somebody or whatever?
Right. How many of you guys remember the beloved? Think about how beloved Ronald Reagan is with white people, right?
Right.
Oh, Reagan was the great communicator, right? Did he tell them how he took away black people's rights because they were walking around with
Are
guns?
you talking about the Black Panther?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Here's a guy that's a beloved guy. He's for the Constitution and all this other stuff, but he manipulated the system to where it took away people's rights.
Yes. And so we all know that story. The Black Panthers got sick and tired of the police terrorizing black people, and so they decided to arm themselves and protect their own self against police officers and the murder and the brutality that was going on. And Ronald Reagan, who was the governor of
Right,
California, said,
right.
"Okay, now we are going to conceal and carry. We're not going to open and carry no more because Black Panthers were walking, at the
With the
courthouses and all of
Constitution and
that.
the
Yeah."
guns.
With the
Hmm.
guns, and so that's why we don't have that law open and carry in California anymore. Specifically, it was the Mulford Act, I think it was called,
Hmm.
that changed the laws, if you will. And so,
Right, but if you go to some of these other states right now, when the white guy opens and carries, it's no problem. You know, we don't want to infringe on his rights. But when people of color and black people, I'm always going to separate that, and black people do it, oh, it's a problem. We got to, lock it down. There's something
right, well,
wrong.
because we also need to know that the laws, no laws, and I love this what Farrakhan said.
Hmm.
He said, when what is it, the Pledge of Allegiance, because I
Hmm.
get them all mixed up because I haven't said them in years.
Hmm.
Pledge of Allegiance, where it says "and justice for all." He said his mom said in her West Indian accent, as a child, she told him, when you get to for the justice for all, you need to say "and justice for white people."
Right.
So the point being made is that these
Don't
laws,
apply. Yeah.
were never
Meant
made
for
to
us.
benefit black
Hmm.
people at all. And what's happening, Abdullah? Abdullah was trying to take me to task over
Hmm.
my spaghetti. Nah,
Yeah.
me and him are both vegans alike, and so we chop it up about different. We're he's more alkaline than I am. I eat mostly alkaline, but sometimes I do venture off the grid. Uh, but I tell you what, Abdullah, it was bomb. Uh,
Why did you put some ground beef
no,
juice in there?
no, no. And you say, first thing black folks need to do is invest in security. I'm not talking about niggas standing around with guns
Right.
running out of their house with slippers.
Mhm.
I can't
So
stand
understand.
with slippers. We need a real detailed security network to protect real leaders because we can easily get touched. Let's put things in perspective. Do
Sure.
you think this evil government would have took down Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, if we had security network that works similar to the Homeland Security? We need to establish that first. We won't do well economically until we protect our interests because the pale-faced man can easily take us out. They're killing us with the food and water, and have the police shooting us. We have to implement security and warfare. You know what? My older brother believes the same thing you believe.
Yeah.
He's like, we need to strengthen our security first. And then to your point with Black Wall Street, one thing I don't want people to get the impression is that um, the black people, black men of Wall Street took it. They just laid
Hmm.
down and took it. They did not lay down
Right.
and take it. In fact, they fought like hell until they could not fight anymore. It should also be known that the men in the town next to Greenwood also got together with other people, other white people, to help take them down. And so those black men did fight like hell to preserve what they had. So they didn't just say, okay, well,
Beat me in the head.
no, they
Shoot
didn't
me in
do
the head.
that. But
Right.
I agree with you. We do need to, and I impress upon everybody to watch the movie called The Spook Who Sat by the Door.
Yes.
That is
Oh
an
my God.
excellent book
It's
slash
on
movie.
YouTube, so there's no excuse
Yeah,
why you can't watch it. It's on YouTube.
and
Excellent movie.
they were giving us the blueprint. You know, um, it's a lot of us. I think it's just entertainment, but no, it's not.
Subliminal messaging.
It wasn't even really
Yeah.
subliminal. You
Right.
know, the one thing I loved about that movie is they left the end vague. Like,
Right.
okay, the rest is up to you guys.
Hmm.
That movie was over 40 years ago. You know, and so
During the black exploitation.
yes, you
thing.
know, and a lot of people probably thought it was black
Yeah.
exploitation. There's this fantasy, these
Yeah.
black militants who are taking it back and they fighting against the man. And nah, we really need to, pay attention to that.
Mhm.
And let's see
Sydney.
here. Cindy says, I'm back. Well, where did you go? Enrique says, I'm not okay. I'm not forgiving. And I know exactly what they are doing, keeping their agenda going. Absolutely. And it's nothing for some of these black leaders to take a couple of bucks. Oh, okay, yes, Mike. We'll go ahead and tell black. If Malcolm X warned us about that, they'll get a couple of these so-called black leaders and celebrities and get out there and say, "Oh, well, he's all right." And if I think he's all right, you guys should think he's all right too. And guess what we'll do? Well, I guess he's all right.
Right.
If Steve Harvey likes him, I like
Yes,
him too.
exactly. It's kind of like the entertainment industry. When I say entertainment, I'm talking about the whole thing: actors, singers, dancers, whatever.
Mhm.
As shady as we know about the record business, oh, we don't like gangster rap. Remember that was a big controversy. But gangster rap made billions of dollars.
Making.
You know, and the white guys all for it until the heat is turned on, and
Right.
then they just kind of flip it a little bit, and then they say, oh, it's something else, but yet they're still making their money. Look at all these black contracts that are made to these artists. That I mean, it's just like I was watching the Philip Scott show, and he says it doesn't make any sense for an artist now to have to go sign with them. You can put your own stuff out.
The money is
Control your own destiny.
but see, I think we need to look at it this way too. I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. It's nothing for these big giant record labels to make these people being like, the young thugs. See, I'm not really in touch with all those people.
Yeah.
You're Megan Thee Stallions and all those people.
Mhm.
Not even throw Lizzo in there for a whole lot of good reasons. But it's nothing for them to write them a big giant check, making them wealthy, because we know that music is the portal to influence a lot of
Information.
people.
Yes.
And so we'll pay them millions and millions of dollars to negatively influence a
Community.
whole generation, yes, and a whole community. And you know why our community gets affected the most by that is because not all of us, but a lot of us are asleep. We allow our children to just like, we don't have a grasp on our children the way we used to. And so that's why a lot of these musical artists, if you will, are able to get a hold of our children. So yeah, if we believe that there's an agenda to ruin black people, the black community, we also need to believe that they who are helping to do this with the agenda, well, there's no price they'll pay. Hell, I'll give them a couple millions to do that, because in the long run, it's worth it for us as white supremacy, if you will. And so, and Sydney says those laws weren't created for us. Absolutely. And Enrique says Donovan just said ground beef juice. I'm gonna go wait in the car. Damn well I ain't no ground beef juice. Hey, and Steve, you said what's the book's name again? Which book? I say The Spook Sat by the Door. Is that the book I was talking about? The movie.
Yeah, it's a
Go.
movie.
It's a
Mhm.
book and a movie. So it was a book that was made into a movie, and the movie you can see it on YouTube. Called "The Spook Who Sat by the Door."
Yeah. If you want to know what the book is, I don't think it was titled. I don't think the book was titled that, was it?
Uh-huh.
It was. Okay.
Hmm.
So sometimes
Yeah.
you got to backwards. Like do the movie and Wikipedia it, and you can get the book.
Yeah. And I believe it says they ran out of the house with guns in Black Wall
Hmm.
Street. That doesn't work, Dimitri. You have a security intel before they can make it that close.
Hmm.
Well, that's not necessarily true either because they knew. See, okay, I'll try to be brief with this. So it's not like they ran out of the house with guns. It's not true. They heard what happened with the man in the elevator. And as you guys, it's interesting. I was listening to the Breakfast Club, and Charlie Wilson, who is from Tulsa, Oklahoma, told the story that his great grandmother, I think it was, told him that the man that so the black man that was accused of touching the white woman, they were actually together,
Hmm.
but it was a secret. And when the elevator doors opened, white men saw them getting out, and then she hollered that he touched her or
Hmm.
something like that. And so word had gotten back to the town, and so the men in the town got them set their security, if you will, together and went to help save this guy and to stop what was to try to stop what was to come. So it wasn't like they was in there smoking cigarettes and drinking whiskey. And nah, see, we need to. I think we do them a disservice when we say that they didn't do enough, because it doesn't make sense to say these men didn't do enough to protect their town, and they built a whole thriving community. It had like two or three hospitals
Hmm.
and schools
It's
and
kind of like
grocery
it's
stores.
kind of like going down to Little Saigon and Orange
Yeah.
County and Koreatown.
So
It's like they had their
they
own
hired their
economic
whole
thing.
town. So
Yeah.
I think we do them a disservice to say that all these Negroes were just sitting up there being, because that's the Negroes we are today. That's the kind of stuff we do now. But I think we do them a disservice to say that they were resting on pretty or
Yeah.
just being
Laurels.
comfortable with what they had. So that's not necessarily true, Ricky. Let's see. And
He says, I had a call. That's why he had to jump off and jump back in.
no, it wasn't Ricky that said that. My bad. It was Abdullah, not Ricky. Abdullah.
Mhm.
My bad. Ricky's probably like, I didn't say that. Ground beef juice she drinking. Sydney says he had a cough. Hey, Denise. And he says, I can't believe the crumbs that we get satisfied with. For example, black Barbies, black Miss Universe,
Hmm.
black head of XYZ, etc. Um, as if this ish is benefiting the masses. Yes, you know what? I'm like you, Denise, in that when I see, oh, we have the first black this. I just saw something the other day. Somebody did the first black something. And
No, it's probably today. The lady that died today, she was the first black model on Mademoiselle magazine.
no, it wasn't
No,
that. It
her.
was something else. Something, I don't know. And every time I see that, I'm like, like, why are we still enamored by the
First,
validation of
the
white?
first.
I don't get it. I'm like, okay, and so what? What does that do for us as a collective? So Donovan was the first Negro to do the backflip off of the roof and survive. I mean, like,
Right. I'm the first to do it.
I, how does that help me?
It doesn't,
Okay.
but it makes you feel good.
Yeah, so Steve, I hope that helps. The spook who sat by the door. Please, you guys, go to YouTube and
Yes.
watch that
There's no excuse
today.
why you can't watch
Watch
that
it
movie.
today
It's on YouTube.
and tell everybody else to watch it. And Ricky says Lizzo is the perfect proof. Black people don't know when they are being insulted. That's a very pretty woman that they are over sexualizing her while glorifying obesity. I hate it here.
Yeah.
And you know what?
They did a show on that.
I'm a Lizzo fan. But
Very talented young lady.
and I'm sad for her because I 100% agree with you.
Mhm.
I'm sad for her because I don't think she knows that she's being used. She's being used to promote a whole lot of nonsense. I mean, now every time we see Lizzo, we see her asshole damn near.
Yeah, it's a clown.
Yeah.
I see a clown.
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, but even the NAACP Awards gave her the Entertainer of the Year last night. And I'm like, okay, well, I can get it, for her singing and all body positivity, because everybody can't be no size two.
Well, yeah. Well, she's a singer and, like I said, a flutist and stuff. I mean,
Yes, but everything else is now overshadowing now. I mean, like I say, you see her booty hole every time she's twerking, and she's running on the beach. And I'm not. I guess you're on the beach with a bikini on, but she's like always doing the most.
Picture with that bikini.
Calm down, killer. Calm down.
Can't. I mean,
calm down.
yeah. Good. Please,
Calm
please,
down.
please
So
continue.
I agree with you, Ricky. I don't. She's being used, and but you got to look at who is promoting her.
Yeah.
Look who's promoting people. Like not that. I'm not talking about her musical talent because she's very talented, but
Very
I'm talking
talented.
about the nonsense that she's participating in. Her verbiage is just like. And she just keeps the Time Entertainer of the Year, NAACP Entertainer of the Year, and she's here and she's there, and
Nobody's
it's
gonna
like,
take her seriously about anything because, like I said, when I saw that picture of her on the beach or whatever, you know what I thought of? Norbert, Rafusia. Excuse me, ma'am. Did you have bottoms on? Of course I do. You know what I mean? That's what I thought about. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe. And don't get me, I'm not trying to body shame her, but what I'm saying is there's, you don't go in public like that. You just don't do that. That's not good. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's not good.
and Denisha said, "Yeah, I never put the first black anything." Yeah, I
Mhm.
mean, like who are like, and he also say too many people measuring themselves with Zungaroos. I hope I said
Yeah,
that
it's like
right.
the zoomies.
Yardstick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really quite sure what that is. Please enlighten me.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and let's see, Kevin, what's
Yeah,
happening?
he wrote a book.
It says finally got you live. Yes, because sometimes I see you
Mm.
comment on the shows that are past. But yes, we are
Okay.
glad you were here live
Yes,
with us.
welcome.
You say, "What's up, my people? I see words that express my heart. I don't care that Africans born in America say they don't mean us. Too bad. I say it means me. And until Africans born in America divorce themselves from European born in America, there is no union possible. The fact that I propose a universal pilgrimage to the continent of Africa and vice versa means the idea is out there. As God says, there are seeking that are says that are seeking a path of life and abundance of it, gathering us in the spirit and flesh will serve to heal a nation that has been spitefully used and attacked without a cause. Join with me in supporting our independence and not having to go anywhere or build an army of fighters. Food for thought. Okay, well, what's the plan, man? What's the plan?
Right.
Break it on
The
down.
revolution will not be advertised.
Right on. Won't be on Facebook
Yeah, it
either.
won't be on Facebook. So you know, so
despite the memes you
yeah,
see, okay, the revolution ain't gonna be on
yeah, it's
Facebook,
not gonna be
okay?
televised. Exactly.
Yeah. So I mean, I just really believe.
Okay, good.
Okay, cool. Because I want to go to something else.
Okay.
So that's gonna work out
Yeah,
fine.
it's gonna work out
Yes.
fine.
I really believe that we need to start holding these other leaders at the local and state election accountable too, because they aren't doing us any good at all. They're enriching themselves and they are starving everybody else.
The Russian Revolution. Get ready.
And those people could not be where they are if it wasn't for the voters, plain and simple. But just like I'm not surprised, but I am a little surprised that somebody like Mike Bloomberg is being taken seriously by black people. It's like, for
You're
real.
gonna replace one shithead so-called billionaire with a real billionaire.
And that's exactly what Farrakhan said. He
What?
says you're gonna replace one with another.
Right. I mean, they both. You know, when you're on that level, you don't listen to nobody. You don't want to.
You want to be a king.
Yeah, you're
You
like,
know,
what? You're talking back to me? What?
right? Kiss my hand,
Yes.
kiss the ring.
Yes. Yes, dear leader. Yes, dear
But
leader.
that's what people are doing,
Mhm.
though. That's what, if you think
And
about
that is
somebody
so
like Trump,
embarrassing.
that's what people are
Mhm.
doing. He's like this deity to them.
Mhm.
And you think about it, these are some big time Christians who are acting like that with
Yep.
Trump. And you know, you ain't supposed to worship no other God but God. No, have no other gods but God.
And it's kind of showing you that these white people don't give a damn about democracy. They don't. Democracy is set up to keep people of color and black people down
Right.
and controlled. That's what
Right.
it's about. They don't care.
Right. And Ricky says, "Yep, I thought of."
And Norbert too. See, I'm not alone. I thought I do. How you doing?
What's wrong with y'all?
Oh man. I mean, when you got that pouch.
Listen,
Does she have any kids?
no.
Okay. What's she have a pouch for then?
Everybody ain't gonna be no size two.
I know that, but what I'm saying is she ain't got a child. I know some big girls that don't have pouches.
You know, you can have a food pouch.
Okay, well, there you go.
I don't know. I
Bad
wouldn't listen.
dieting. There you go.
Yeah, I mean,
Bad diet.
everybody ain't gonna be no slender young tenderoni. So anyway, you guys on the podcast, please come back for the second half. We're gonna change topics, so please come right on back.
Yes, but my Amanda.
Oh, and it's my sister's birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
sis. Sitting
birthday.
right on
Yes.
here. Happy. She says, I'm not ashamed to tell people I'm 47.
Go ahead, girl.
And then he says, tell us the meaning, spot brother. He says,
Kevin, when you talk about
oh, Kevin,
genre.
okay. Okay, yeah, I'm with you. Well, do tell, break it on down. Cindy says, I am just surprised so many people who are taking Bernie seriously. Well, I think that whole little vote balloon, no matter who has caught on, maybe a lot of people like what Bernie is talking about. You know, he is a super socialist, if you will.
Well, the thing is about Bernie, people don't understand that. He's consistent. That's the thing.
Yeah,
He's been consistent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, like him or hate him, he's consistent.
I mean, like I got a good friend, and let me know when you get ready to push play on that. I got a good friend who is this big time staunch supporter of Biden, and
yeah. So, oh my God, I had to put it down. You know, I made a few comments, but
wait, so she gets on there and she's lamenting like, "Oh my God, Biden is losing." Yeah. You know, these Biden supporters got on there and called her everything but the child of God. Called her the B word. How dare you put that out there? And I got on there. I said, y'all ain't no better than Trump supporters. This woman is just saying she's scared that that Biden is not going to, win Las Vegas.
Yeah, she's entitled to her opinion. She's entitled to her opinion.
She was called all kind of stuff. And I wasn't voting for Biden. No way. These people didn't know that. But I said, just because of you, I'm not voting for Biden. I wouldn't want to vote for the same person you're voting for. And then they're like, well, why would you let that one person tell you not to vote? I said, as a matter of fact, I would tell everybody I know not to vote for Biden.
What was our topic last time?
I don't know.
Black people need to stop.
You know what? Title this one, the emasculation of Snoop? Question mark.
Oh, good one.
Okay. And we're doing some behind the scene things right here because we're getting ready to switch topics, you guys. So anyway, and Ricky says, I haven't been following these candidates. I just know Bloomberg ain't shit. Who do y'all think is okay candidate for president of the United States? Right now, I mean, I can't really see anybody. I mean, if you want to go, and I don't suggest you do, with the vote blue no matter who, then, I don't know. But this is a possibility. Do we need the vote? I mean, we need the Democrats, especially, to start taking it seriously, right? We need them to start taking it seriously because we're not right now. We just been giving them our votes without them giving us anything back.
That's why they don't worry about us.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't think us not voting is a bad thing. I think we really need to seriously think about it and perhaps spread the word. We don't get what we need, they don't get what they need, and we just have another 4 years of Trump. And hey, how's the weather? I mean, because really, like all the hell Black people have endured in America since we've been over here. You think 4 years of Trump is going to kill us? In fact, I agree with Farrakhan. 4 years of Trump is 4 more years of Trump is going to help us get our stuff together.
Wake up.
So anyway, you guys, I'm going to switch topics here because I don't see any more comments on there. So hello to you guys on the podcast. This is Demetra K. I am sitting here with Donovan, the Black you and Brenda Sadiq. And this is the second edition of our Sunday Demetra K show. And so we are going to talk about the emasculation of Snoop Dogg, question mark. So obviously that is a very loaded question, if you will. And so
I talk about Snoop, he's a gangster.
Well, I mean, I guess. So anyway, let's take it back about a couple of weeks, right? And so for those of you guys who live in California, you guys probably know that the memorial for Kobe Bryant is tomorrow. You have to have a ticket to get anywhere near the venue.
If you don't got a ticket, they don't want you down there
nowhere near it at all. You have to have a ticket. And so that is going on. So anyway, you guys also know that Kobe Bryant was killed in a helicopter accident or crash rather with his 13-year-old daughter and 7 other people. And from that, a whole bunch of stuff ensued. One of the things was Gayle King, Oprah's BFF and news anchor on CBS, questioned one of Kobe's best friends and asked her about the rape incident. And from that point, all hell broke loose. Snoop Dogg, who was a very good close friend of Kobe, uh, got on Instagram and said some pretty choice words. Now, was the words bad? Yes, but was the sentiment felt? Yes, a lot of people felt
Felt
what
the
he was
same way.
saying. So,
And real gangsters don't retract what they say.
well, you got to. I think you need to peel back the surface, right?
Of course.
So, of course, from that point, everybody being the white establishment and their minions, if you will, your Oprahs, your Susan Rices, and all these people came out for Gail and changed the narrative around from Gail insulting the legacy of Kobe Bryant, negating his, family's feelings and all of that, and turning it into Gail being a victim. And so, since then, Snoop has apologized for calling her funky dog haired B. That's what he said. I didn't say it, but that's what he said. And so now he's going to go on the Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett and her mama and her daughter. And so and that's going to take place, I think Wednesday the 26th or something like that. And so from the little snippet that they being Jada released, she's saying, and I'm paraphrasing Snoop, when I heard you say that, I felt like you were talking to me. I felt like you were talking to my daughter, and I felt like you were talking to my mom. So
all the bitches and hoes and stank stuff that he's been saying since the 90s?
Wasn't talking to her then.
Okay.
This is when he said it about Gail.
Got it.
Yeah, and so when because I heard about it and I was like, okay, I'm going to give Snoop the benefit of the doubt. And we still don't know what he said because we haven't seen the whole interview, but I'm like, oh, this agenda machine is for real. Like, how can Jada now try to make it seem like he was talking about her and her daughter and her mom?
You got to remember, Jada is a mixed nut. Okay. And for those that don't know what a mixed nut is, that's my definition of a person that is of mixed race.
Okay, so. That's kind of derogatory, though.
Well, I mean, she's a mixed nut. I mean,
she's a mixed person.
No. When I'm talking about Jada, mixed nut, the bitch is a little crazy.
His words, not mine.
So, I mean, she's a little off.
So anyway,
mixed nut.
When I saw that, I was like, okay. Now, this could either be an emasculation of Snoop Dogg, and not just Snoop Dogg, but an attempt at an emasculation of black men, because we see what's going on here. Snoop has been made, if you will, to heel, to bow.
That's right. Bow, you dog.
Yeah, to bow. Heel. But again, I don't know what he's going to say, but I think we really need to start understanding that there is an agenda to even continue to emasculate black men. And yeah, that's the one I put up. And I would just say to you guys, you men, like, stand strong. I'm not saying you guys need to, call women out of their names, nothing like that. But I think you guys need to understand that there is an agenda, and you guys need to keep pushing, because this doesn't get better. This doesn't get better for black men at all. I mean, you guys,
we got to be men.
Like, black people in general are in danger, but you guys are really, they're gunning for you guys every which way but loose.
Right. And the sad thing is, they're using our women to help them do it.
Right. Well, again, there's that whole little black leadership thing that we just kind of talked about. Hey, my eating is good up here. We eating good at this red table.
Well, the funny thing is that you bring about eating and stuff and how distraction right now. What's happening down in Louisiana?
What ain't happening in Louisiana?
The Mardi Gras thing is coming up.
It's going on now.
So
yeah.
All these people are worried about is the parades and getting beads. I mean, They're not even paying attention.
Well, right, and well, we are distracted as black people in general, but I think you guys for real need to really pay attention to what's going on, because there's, like, now Gail is the victim. And now they got Jada and her mama and her daughter, which I don't think her daughter is even equipped to even have that conversation with a grown-ass man like Snoop, but I guess she's going to have it, and they're probably going to come at her from all angles to say how you was wrong and how you hurt my feelings. And I'm like, where's Snoop's wife in all of this? That's what I want to know. Where is his wife to say, you know what, nah, I need y'all to back up off of mine, okay? I mean, like...
Remember, Snoop got caught in that little thing.
Listen, I've seen his wife, not personally, but I've seen her. And like, when he was going to divorce his wife, she's like, nah, you ain't going nowhere, son. And I ain't going nowhere either. And all these years later, they still together. But so the point that I'm making is, Snoop Dogg wife, from what I saw her, she's not no punk. So Let me get to you guys' comments. Well, when I saw that, I was just like, Lord have mercy. Like this is they're going to continue to, because Snoop is a very high profile individual who, as Donovan say, is this gangster and all of that, beat a murder rap, in the 90s. And now they're just going to me, I envision what they're doing to Snoop as having him in some shackles with one of those things that they used to put around slaves' necks, and they're just parading him through town.
Like we're making him bow,
Yes.
we can make anybody
And you
else
know what
bow.
they call that?
Flavor? What?
You like to say this term a lot.
What?
Buck breaking.
Oh, buck. Yeah.
That's buck breaking. That's what they're doing. They are breaking the buck.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they like in men in slavery. Big black men, if you will, the most strongest, powerful black men on the plantation. The buck, strong buck. That's what they call them. And so that's to me what I see them doing to Snoop is they're breaking him in front. They're trying to anyway break him in front of the world, so the rest of you men will get on board and say, "Well, damn, we got one of the most perceived powerful women in the world, Susan Rice, coming out and telling him, you better back the F off or we'll bring an army against you." And then shortly after that, you see him bow down. And then they've got him on this apology tour. And now he's on the Red Table Talk where there's millions of viewers. That is the quintessential definition of breaking the buck. Buck breaking. And buck breaking, because Al was telling me the other day he saw a picture that disturbed him greatly, and it was a depiction. It was a cartoon, obviously, of a big black man getting ready to be raped, if you will, by a slave master, and he was just so distraught and disturbed by that. And I said, "Well, I know that's disturbing, but that's what happened."
But the funny thing is, a lot of people will say that stuff didn't happen. Look at all these gays, you know, in the community, especially in the white community, that we're finding out now. So how can you say that didn't happen back then?
Well, we know that it happened back then.
That's what I'm saying. When people try to say, "Oh, right. no, it ain't no phenomenon that just happened. It happened back then."
We know that it happened back then, but it happened for one because, like you said, I mean, they were their homosexuality didn't just start. That homosexuality's been around forever, especially with white men, if you will. And the other thing was we're going to send a message to the rest of the slaves, the men on the plantation, and everybody else. We're going to scare the living daylights out of you that you too can find yourself in this position. No pun intended, honestly. Find yourself in this position if you don't bow down and tuck tail and run and do as we ask you to do. And so in 2020, that is still going on.
Yeah, and actually, based on my military, when I went to survival school, they gave us that scenario to where, okay, you want to have the people in the prison camp heal. You bring the disobedient soldier or the leader of that group of soldiers, and it could happen.
Right.
And you rape them in front of everybody, and that's going to make everybody like isolate him, and they're getting afraid for themselves, and it kind of keeps the control.
And so then
it's a factual thing.
And then it causes everybody else to get in line. Right. And then you don't
want that to happen to you.
The people to snitch on your Nat Turners and all, to say, hey,
that was an actual scenario in the military.
He about to get out of line. So you have a lot of and so that's to me what I see. And again, I don't want to be too premature in my analysis of the Red Table with Jada and them, but I'm not stupid. I can kind of see there's an emasculation going on, and they're just being used to help break the buck. And right now, Snoop is the buck that's being broken.
And then I also believe that somebody probably told him, "Hey, look, you've got this cooking show with Martha Stewart. This is going to affect," because, like I said, they're not just going to break him publicly. They will try to break you financially.
But see, this is the thing, though. Well. This is my thing. Snoop is worth about $160 million. So it's not like Snoop is broke.
Exactly.
So my other question would be, how much is it worth? How much money is enough? And how much money do you need to like how much more money is it going to cost for you to continue to sell your soul and to be broken in front of the world? Like have a lot of people like looking to, not that we look to the leader, but it's very symbolic.
Right, but a lot of people, I don't know if they depend on him, for working purposes, because we don't know if he's moving in silence, whatever. But I'm almost sure somebody said you guys need to make that up, because if you saw his apology, if you saw the apology,
it didn't
that was a written statement.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, kind of too, where not kind of, but where group economics. I'm gonna get to you guys' comments. Group economics comes in because if we had our own well-oiled machines, somebody like Snoop or anybody else wouldn't have to bite their tongue because white supremacy is going to try to ruin them, right? He could just say what he needed to say, and then we back them up.
And Bill Cosby kind of
The
said,
rest of them,
yeah, he
yeah.
just said, hey, it's bullshit.
Right. And Ricky says, wait, what happened to Snoop? So I hope that I was thorough in my explanation. And Al, what's happening? He says, Deontay Wilder said his costume when entering the ring last night was dedicated to Black History Month. And even though I lost, it was a win in the long run for the culture.
Huh?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I get it. I get it. I completely get it. I mean,
he comes in looking like Ragnar.
Well, I mean, to me, I don't know what the situation was, but I get where he was going with trying to send a powerful visual to people.
And you lost.
Well, he lost. You can't win them all, but that don't
Why
mean
not?
that don't mean he's a loser.
No, I didn't say that.
Yeah, right. Well, he lost.
But for those of you that are boxing fans, I don't know if you're a Deontay Wilder fan. He never could fight.
I like Deontay Wilder, but I don't like
fight.
Deontay Wilder because he's a boxer. I like him because he is unapologetic about being black.
I like that.
Period.
But for the sport of boxing, the sweet science of boxing, he could not box. But that does not negate the fact that you don't need to box if you got dynamite in your hand. So I'll give him that.
Right. Yeah, so. But so I love that, and I do believe in that. I mean, like I said, we know of Deontay Wilder, for we know him because to me he's fairly new. That he is unapologetic about being black. So and Macy, what's happening? He says when it comes to Snoop, we know Oprah has a long reach and Gail is her side chick. So it is not that we turn on Snoop as much as it is Oprah and Gail making many think that we turn. Absolutely, because I agree with you on that, because a lot of comments and things that I read, it's a very small amount of people who actually those people I won't even say turn because they were never on Snoop's team anyway. But I see a copious amount of people who are like, man, Snoop shouldn't apologize. I stand with Snoop, women, men. So a lot of people are on Snoop's side, and I hope honestly that he knows that and he sees that a lot of black people are rooting for him. Like, you know what? Don't forget what they talking about. We got you. We're not gonna turn on you.
Well, see, and that's the thing. We have to stop. We got to stop trying to cross over to this and that. Let them. We're the one that makes shit hot. There was an artist, I forget, in the '60s or '70s, and they were trying to make him cross over. I can't remember who the artist was, but he was just like, "I'm good. People are going to buy my music. My people are going to buy my music. I don't need to do all this bullshit."
A lot of them.
Yeah, I don't need to do all this bullshit. But I'm just saying with Snoop, the same thing. It's like, we're going to buy your shit, man. Right. We're going to support you.
Right. And Macy says, wait before we attack Jada. Wait before we attack Jada because she steps right most of the times. No, and that's what I said too. I don't want to be premature in my judgment of her, but from the snippet she put out, I was like, oh Lord. Again, I'm gonna wait until I see it too on the 26th to see exactly what goes down because it's gonna break my heart a little bit if Snoop just totally tells her. I'm gonna just be like, oh.
Well, my thing is this, and it's just me, not Demetrius. It's just me personally. I don't like Will Smith as an actor because I knew him as a rapper. So, as somebody who is a thespian, I just don't care for Will Smith's acting because I know a little bit about acting and stuff like that. But I don't like the fact that when I'm not saying you can't have an opinion, whatever, but Jada to me is an actress. You know what I mean? Her opinion to me doesn't mean anything when it comes to life lessons and stories because her path is totally different than the normal path.
Well, yeah.
That's just me. I'm just saying.
I mean, I don't follow Jada a lot. I know obviously who she is. From the Red Table Talks that I have seen, it seemed to be okay.
But I'm just saying,
what I really do like is how she did Jordan Woods, the girl that the Kardashians, if you will, were trying to destroy. I do like that she brought her in and said, "Not on our watch." We are not going to allow them to do that to you.
Yeah.
So I did like that.
But it kind of always goes back to whenever they. Let's say something go down, the Bill Cosby thing. They go to these entertainers and ask their opinion. But let's say, okay, let's say the bombing in Syria. They go to these entertainers. Hey, Bill, what do you think? Richard, what do you think? Emmett Smith, what do you think?
Right.
Who gives a shit what they think? When a white person, something of a serious thing like that, they go to the elected leaders.
Right.
They never go to Maxine Waters, these elected leaders, and say, "What do you think?" But then, even if they did go to him, Maxine would be like, "Yes, boss."
Right.
So,
And Jonelle, you say, and I agree with you, Mason. Says,
mm,
don't judge until after we see it go
mm,
down. So I'm with you on that one. And you say, Jonelle, right? They're seeking to castrate him via his own. Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, to me, I don't think we can continue to deny that there is an agenda. And Al, you say, I think Snoop will stand strong about his defense of Kobe tomorrow and do the same thing on that table talk.
mhm.
If he doubles down, then it was set up to air that talk show 2 days after Kobe's memorial service.
Sure.
Yeah, well, we'll see, right? And John Elliott says it only shows the hidden hand of the Zionists whom they're working for to put Snoop in alignment. Yeah, and he put Snoop in alignment, and he puts the rest of you guys in alignment.
Yeah, oh, well, I don't follow Snitch, so
Well, I'm just
he's
saying,
not gonna put me in
but I'm
that damn
saying,
alignment. Yeah,
him being, he's got a
gangster rapper, we put him down.
well,
Next.
Snoop does a lot of other things too, and I think unfortunately the conversation about Snoop is being hijacked to make it seem like he's just a gangster
Right.
rapper, but we know that he's done so much more.
Well, like I said, it's just like Easy. I follow Easy. So when that shit was going on in the '90s, I'm an Easy, Ruthless Records type person. Just like Easy said, he's a studio gangster, and that's all he's ever been. Juvenile Hall is not jail, so that's where Snoop went. Yeah, he caught a murder charge, but that his bodyguard, whatever. There's a big story to it. But
And Snoop is a big follower and supporter of the Nation of Islam and a minister.
yes.
So
And I'm not diminishing his thing, but what I'm saying is, he never was a real gangster. It just wasn't. He just liked to rap. It's like Dr. Dre.
well,
They
we
like to
don't
rap
we,
about.
we don't know what Snoop really was. We know
We do know.
we don't
We
know what
do know.
Snoop really was.
We
Okay.
do know.
And Ricky says they are trying to break a buck. Jada and them
Mhm.
talking about they felt like Snoop was talking to them. I'll kick Will's wife
Wow. I'm with you, brother.
the F out the window. Snoop singled Gail out by name. They're about to make him look like he hates black women.
Mhm.
And I like the part though when she was saying that he was like, so
He don't
hopefully,
get it. Right.
he's gonna say, oh, wait a minute now. Okay.
Mhm.
Enough is enough. No. We'll see though. And then I was having to say I am. He says that's sad man raping a man.
Yeah,
Well,
it happens. I mean, it happens.
what they
And
did.
in war, there's a lot of rape that goes on, men raping women. That's the way you degrade the society,
Right.
and you put them in subjugation and fear.
Right.
So it just happens.
And Jonah says they're striving to do the same against Boosie in regards to his
Yes.
comment on women, their insecurity, fear, black masculinity. So yes, little Boosie, I guess is Boosie now. It's was basically admonishing Dwayne Wade, saying, don't let your son change. He's young. He's may change his mind. And I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And it
What
sounds
his
like
son wants to chop his sausage off?
well, he can't do that anyway.
Right,
He
okay.
can't wait until he got to wait till he's 18
Yeah.
anyway. So,
I don't
sounds
like
like
I don't like the cars on my door because I don't rip them off.
well, I think little Boosie was just a Boosie rather. I think he was saying what a lot of people were saying, and I'm not necessarily I try not to get into that whole thing, but I'm not mad at him for finally using his platform to speak up, as Snoop often does, and this is not the first time Snoop has spoke out. He spoke out, when the minister was banned on social media and stuff like that. So Snoop is not a punk, if you will.
Well, he didn't speak out on that girl that outed him. Sorry,
What girl?
The side chick that outed him and his wife jumped on. It was ugly. You got to look it up. Snoop was like, "Huh? What?"
Okay, Gail King. So yeah, yeah, and then Planet Fitness or whatever
Yeah.
told Boosie he can't come back, and
Mhm.
because that's where he was when he made the video. So yeah, I mean there is definitely an agenda. And Macy, you said you're agreeing with Al. You say true. And then John Ellis says Snoop and others may not have the backbone to stand against the Zionists and sold out Negroes against him.
Mhm.
It takes courage, and even those blacks with privileges, not rich, their own, not truly rich, their own white allowances. Yeah, they're not gonna mess up the gravy train,
Exactly.
because
I don't blame him.
one other part of that too is a lot of these black celebrities, if you will, they got more debt than they have money. So I can't really just rock the boat now because I got a $15 million house, but I'm worth $2 million.
Right.
So I got to kind of, step and fetch it a little bit until whatever,
I don't want to cut off my gravy train, basically.
Right.
I need income coming in.
Right. And then Ricky says Oprah Winfrey took her dry garbage bag eyes ass on the Today Show. Ricky. And dry snitch on Bill Cosby about him tweet.
From jail.
And she did. And the crazy part is when I saw that, she couldn't even remember what it was. She didn't know if it was a text or a tweet.
Mm.
Like
y'all love Oprah. Y'all sisters loved Oprah. And us men have been trying to tell you for years. Y'all wouldn't listen.
And then Al says, if Monique listened to Steve Harvey, certainly Snoop can listen to someone in his camp. To say you have female fans and supporters are, you can't be calling black women bitches. But agreed. But this is the thing. And I'm not defending Snoop on any of that. But to Donovan's point, Snoop been calling people bitches.
Since 1991. Deep cover.
I mean, he got a few songs
on the
car. Bitches ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. I mean, I'm just saying, he got that's not nothing, and I'm not listening. I'm not defending it. I don't agree with it.
It ain't no fun
if the homies can't have. I mean, I'm just saying, we can go on forever. So the point that I'm making is that I'm not trying to dig into, the crates of Snoop's catalog, but that ain't nothing new.
Right. So what's the big deal?
And he called Gail when all of a sudden the earth has to stop spinning.
Right. And she does have a long face because wait, no. I'm not trying to insult her.
Go ahead. No. Let me get out of the screenshot.
Why is Snoop called Snoop Doggy Dog or Snoop Dogg? Because his face is long like a dog. That's why
he don't what?
He don't let him hose. You don't let him host. But
I mean, I'm just saying.
But that's what I'm saying. So he got his nickname based on a characteristic of his face. So does Gayle King have a long face? Yes, she does. I'm not defending what he said, but I'm just saying sometimes you'll get a nickname or whatever based on your characteristics. That's all.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's known fact that Snoop kind of resembles a puppy or a dog or something. Anyway. And Mason says, Donovan, that is not fair. Money never stopped her from being real or black. And she has shown where she stands. And I should wait. Yeah, and I should also say, in defense of Will and Jada, they are supporters of the minister as well. Yes. It is a known fact that they have given and gone to the Million Man March, the Women Million March, and given, copious amount of money to the nation. So, like I said, I don't demonize Jada at all, and I'm with you on waiting to see.
Yeah, like I said, don't get it twisted. What I'm saying is, I don't listen to a person who is an actor telling me about social.
But I think what Macy is trying to say is that Jada has transcended, if you will, just being an actress.
I don't think so, but okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think so, but that's
your opinion.
Yeah.
Now, what you say?
Yeah, I'm like.
Huh? Do you think so?
I do. I really think she has transcended.
Got it. Okay. Jonelle says, you're right, Donovan. Wilder just got out boxed.
Yeah, he did.
He's depending on what got him there, and you got to have more than just that. Fury just made the adjustment and weighed on him. Yep. And Queen, you're right. Wilder has always tried to represent black love and us, period. I rooted for him, but he took a whooping. Yeah. And I'm glad they tossed that towel.
And he could have got hurt.
He said he got to get more in Arsenal. Yes.
Yeah. For Deontay, Wilder fans, I thought he was going to knock Fury out, but of course there was chinks in his armor. Now remember, Deontay Wilder started boxing late. Most people started boxing in their teens, so he's a young 30-something. I forgot how old he is. So he could come back from this and add. The thing is, when you just have that dynamite and your camp doesn't give you more tools to work with, you're going to be exposed sooner or later. And it just, unfortunately, he got exposed last night.
I saw the fight last night on Bootleg. Somebody had it on Facebook, and I want to thank him.
No.
I want to thank him.
Yeah, no.
I wasn't paying no $80 for that fight.
No, it was on YouTube almost immediately.
Yeah, so I knew I was going to watch it for free.
Exactly. But he got exposed. That right just kept coming down the pipe. And it was just...
And I was glad, too, that they threw in the towel, because I was like, this is not... I mean, he couldn't... I guess they're saying once he got punched in the ear and started bleeding, he just really couldn't come back. Yeah.
And if you notice his feet, he's always been like that because he relies on that super right hand.
And Al was telling me it's really deadly.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
But his stance was so far apart that he doesn't have a weight. He isn't grounded.
He looked like he had drank up a bunch of yak before he got up in there.
So, but hopefully he'll come back from this, because the thing about boxing, in the clause, this is what I heard, in the clause, he has 30 days to initiate a rematch. He needs to do that because in boxing, you become very irrelevant in the title picture. Yeah. So to me, it's a big payday. Get that rematch done, get the trilogy done, then go on to Joshua. That's just my opinion about it. But if his head's not into it, you want to be safe and stuff, hey, you got your money, roll out.
Right. Now, Al says Jada was with Tupac and he used the word bitch in some of his songs, and now you don't be agreeing with this message.
Sorry.
I'm just playing. Says in some of his songs, and now she's offended by Snoop, who was also friends with
Dolores Tucker. You a motherfucker.
Get your bony black olive on. Okay.
Remember those songs?
So I guess I'm going to concede you and Al's point to some degree.
Thank you, executive producer Al Jackson.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you roll with one of them, but then again, too, Tupac did transcend, which is, if you guys study Tupac, that is why he's not here anymore. Mm-hmm. It is believed that the FBI took him out because he moved from being a gangster rapper, if you will, started off
to a Bob Marley prophet.
Who did he start with?
Digital Underground.
Digital Underground. And he was transcending, from gangster rapper to being. Tupac was always conscious, and he was a prodigy, if you will.
The Black Panther movement.
Yeah, Black Panther movement. Aunts and uncles, mom and dad was, Black Panthers, and so he was already a genius, and he started to walk in his calling, and that's why he's not here. And so I do believe people do evolve. But to you guys' point, yeah. Mm-hmm. And Jonelle, you say the minister spoke on Kobe Galen. Oh, see, right when I cut it off, I knew I was gonna miss something good. But I'm gonna go back and watch it. I have to get here. I'm gonna watch it. And he said the minister spoke on Kobe, Gail, and Snoop. And he said he stand with Snoop and not the B word, and prayed Gail will come from under being used and back to self-love in so many words. Yes. Oh, I can't wait to watch it. I didn't know for sure, but I knew he was going to because I know that Snoop loves the minister like with all his heart, and so I knew that the minister would say something like what you said. I'm not surprised by that. And you also say, what gets me is no man wants cramps or a period, more or less childbirth. Mm-hmm. No, I'm telling y'all really don't. You really don't. Okay.
I love you.
Nor are they naturally capable yet want to be a woman. Wade may bleed. He said D-Lo. Oh, yeah. Because what man promotes his own son being a girl, but a twisted-minded fool?
Yes.
You're born a boy, a male. Now, if you want to act, go for the Oscars, because that's what you're doing, chasing what you have. Yeah, I'm telling y'all, y'all don't want them struggles.
Exactly.
Y'all don't want them. You know what? That's what they should do. Not that I try not to have that conversation because it gets ugly. I think for men who want to do that, be like a woman, I think you need to have to experience cramps and PMS. I think you do. Give them 5, not that weak ass 2 to 3 day. I'm talking about 5 strong
5-7 days. Right. Or let you be a woman for like let's say a month, and you gotta take care of the kids. I'm just doing the surface stuff. Hold the job. Fuck you, man.
One cycle, and I guarantee
you wouldn't want to do it.
You'd be like,
I'm done.
Thank you, but no, thank you.
Look how many women in this. Well, what I see in the Black community. What do they call them? Studs or bulldogs or?
You're not gonna get me to end this.
Okay. Well, anyway, look how many of these women hate men, but they strap their breasts down and they cut their hair to look like men, and I'm just like, wow, I mean, it's just kind of okay.
I can't speak to none of that. Not right now, I can't.
Well, they're running away from their womanhood because they're like, fuck this shit.
And Jonelle says Wade should have changed his name and sons
Meyer.
To Meyer.
Meyer.
Okay. And then Cindy says, and you didn't send it to the link. I did. I put it on I put it on my page twice. The Savior's Day address. It's on there. You can go back and watch it. I'm gonna go back and watch the last bit that I missed. And Al says, I agree with Donovan. Jada hasn't transitioned from actress to activist, but Regina King has and is.
Yes, and that show that Regina King was on, The Watchers.
They got canceled.
Yeah, they're thinking about bringing it back because
okay.
everybody's kind of jumping on that stuff. So
yeah, because they said they touched on the Black Wall Street. A lot of people didn't know about Black Wall. And that's another thing. I can't remember who it was saying about the first. It slips my mind. But I'm reading articles now where they're saying, oh, they're going to start teaching Black Wall Street in
real history.
And you know what I said? And that's what we need to be teaching our kids.
That's what I'm saying. Why aren't we teaching it?
Oh, yeah, I'm going to wait for the administrators. Because Charlie Wilson, you guys go on the Breakfast Club, his interview, he's a very, I loved Uncle Charlie, okay? That's all I'm going to say about that. But anyway, he was saying there was a time that they couldn't speak about Black Wall Street. They were told not to bring it up. And they couldn't speak about it because, especially people who were closer to that time, they would be murdered for even bringing it up. And so now, all of a sudden, they're going to start teaching it in school. I mean, well, hell, that's what we should be teaching our kids. Our kids should be the first ones sitting in the classroom like, oh, shoot, I know all about that.
Well, remember,
my mom and daddy already told me about that.
Well, remember our days at RCC? What was the breakfast class?
Black history.
That was the breakfast class to take.
We thought we was going to get in there and watch Roots.
Hey, I'm good. I'm Black. I know it. That was the breakfast class to take. Man. That guy was not playing.
Okay. And Jarnell says, be able, like Anthony Joshua, to make the adjustments and develop a nice arsenal. But it's clear Joshua in Fury is going to be the fight. Definitely got the young lion, Anthony Joshua, over Fury. Okay.
Yep.
And then you also say the minister will be speaking in Chicago this Sunday coming. All praise to Allah. Oh, nice. Awesome. And then Ali says, what the F are you rapping Snoop songs, but not the show's theme song?
What is him and Roy Orbison? What is that? Is that his white side coming out?
Yes.
Well, you need to be Al. We need to do some Beach Boy stuff.
There's something wrong with Al. There's something wrong with Al for real. But I'm not going to do that. Hit it, Maestro.
No, I'm not doing it.
Hey, Santiago, what's happening?
Santiago,
why do you keep calling me mom? I noticed are you really my child? Do I have some loved kids out there somewhere? Is it possible for women to have kids they didn't know they had?
Absolutely.
Is it?
Absolutely. While you were asleep. How long do you sleep in a day?
I don't get much sleep, so maybe it was that time when I was really fat. And then I wasn't all of a sudden. So you could be my son. Well, hello, son. And Sydney says, referring to the fight.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, that's the fight.
You know why? Because I'm in this group, this private group, and I couldn't. You have to be a part of the group. That's how I saw it. Otherwise, I had to share it. But then the dude, somebody kept snitching, and so he kept getting cut off, but he kept coming back. And so that's how me and my daughter we watched the fight.
I watched it on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I'm not.
I ain't gonna be paying no ADD. You got me messed up. And plus, I knew people was gonna talk about it on Facebook anyway. That's how I get all the highlights of everything. Because people talk too much. Exactly. I didn't even need to watch Power because people told me everything that
was happening. That what's that Crown? What's that one? Throne, Game of Thrones.
Oh yeah, all of that.
All
of it. And then Al says the word you're looking for, Donovan, is.
Well, yeah, that
don't
word.
You say it.
That one. Yeah.
You know what? Someone told me Al was gonna come through. And Jonelle says, right, give them all that a woman endures since they're too weak to man up. As honorable Ms. Farrakhan teaches, for a man to want to be a woman is an insult to a woman. They're just Oscar Mayer chasers.
Wow.
You know what, Jonelle? It really is an insult. I mean, it's just like, you got to pay the cost to be the boss when it comes to a woman. Boy, I tell you, give them stretch marks too.
No.
Give them stretch marks too. Give them saggy boobs too. Give them what that you was talking about, Lizzo's pop. Give them all of that. No, you don't get to go lay down on Dr. Hollywood table and get snatched and stapled. Nah, give them all that.
I'm serious. I am so thankful that I'm a man because the simple fact that just looking at my own mom, having lost her husband, being a widow, and the stuff that she had to do, there's no way, even to this day, there's no way in hell I could have done half of what my mom did.
I mean,
There's just no way.
like I'm going on the other side of the slope, if you will.
Coming down the hill. You're
Coming down the
You already
hill.
been to the mountain.
So I ain't got them problems like that no more. But Lord have mercy.
And that's why I look at women sometimes. I'm like, damn. I know you guys go through a lot.
I mean, a lot is an understatement. I mean, just not to tell y'all anything biologically, give y'all a lesson. But I mean, there was times where it was horrible. The pain was just like on a scale from 1 to 10, it was 110. Nothing you can do about it. You got to go to work. You got to take care of your child. You got to
screw this man. You
no, ain't got to do it.
You know what I mean? You got a man. No, seriously, because I mean, the pressure we as men that we put on women, I realized that as I got older, I'm like, wow, that's really selfish of me. This woman's doing all this stuff.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
I'm doing,
y'all don't even gotta wash your ass every day. I mean, you should, but you don't.
Right.
It's a lot. So so for a man to say I now want to be a woman is like, and then there's this I'll get you guys the comments, but there's this I don't want to be incorrect, but I think it's a transvestite.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what he calls himself. In the Breakfast Club has had him on. I'm trying to be correct here. On a couple of times, I forget her name, but I'll say they agreed that it's unrealistic for men to want to be accepted, as women. He says because we'll never be women.
Right.
We can put on the wig and the clothes and stuff, but we'll never be women.
Yeah. Recently, a lot of the high schools and stuff up north, they're banning these transgendered young men that are
from running
and running and stuff like that. And then for those that don't know, Bruce Jenner, what's his name?
Caitlyn Jenner.
Caitlyn Jenner is going to be on the cover of.
No, that was 2016.
Was it 2016?
Yeah.
No, I think there's something else where he's going to be on there.
And I saw an old article.
That was an old article.
Yeah, somebody was having him on naked.
I'm just like, and just think if that's your dad, and you're thinking,
I could never picture my dad like that.
My dad has now turned. Man, the psyche that would just fuck me up. Real bad.
Says Donovan, when you play a small part of the theme on your phone to let the audience know what it is. How's this weird?
Under that.
And Sandiata, you says K, Miss K, hi Mo. So
Lisa got hi alive Sandiata. Nice. At home, I'm chilling. Yeah, that's the message.
Nice.
Okay.
All right.
Is that African or?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he calls me mom a lot on some of my posts. So.
Okay. All right. Maybe you reminded him of my Mama Zulu.
Maybe I do. I don't know.
Never know.
So yeah. I don't have anything else to talk about. This is odd.
Well, I have something that I want to
go ahead.
How many of you guys saw last night Bernie Sanders smash the crap out of the Nevada primary?
I heard about it.
I'm going to show you how badly this guy smashed it. It was so bad that they called it almost immediately. It was almost like they didn't even, I mean, they had like not even 10% of the thing in. They said, oh, it's done. He's done. It's just incredible.
The Democrat establishment
is panicking. There was and I said on my thing last night, there was a lady reporter. She was asking the Bernie, supporter, like, oh, why are you voting for him? Just the disgust on the lady, like, how could you vote for a socialist? That's the talking point now. So if you guys get a chance, keep looking. I'm putting this thing up. It's going to be awesome as I'm going to talk about it. The revolution has started now because now he outright won that one. Tuesday's coming up.
He won Iowa.
He won Iowa, and he won.
And that's a record. He made history somehow,
being the popular guy going into it. Now, Tuesday's coming up. He's going to take California and Texas. Now, watch how the Democrats try to deny him
the delegates.
Yeah, again, they're going to try to just make it to the super delegates, get it on the ballot of the super delegates so they can steal it from him.
They want Biden.
Well, and then Biden's going to lose, so. And then, and here's nothing I hate. You got these feminists still talking about Amy Klobuchar and all these people. Well, they need a woman on the ticket. We had a woman on the ticket and she lost.
I heard they were floating the idea of
Kamala as a vice president.
And Stacey Abrams.
Oh, my God. Losers. All these people are losers.
Hillary's name has even been out there a time or two.
And think about this: Bloomberg, Trump, Hillary. All these people know each other.
They've all been
Epstein.
danced at
Yeah,
each other's kids' weddings.
yeah. They've all been to Epstein Island.
Right.
I mean, come on.
We don't want better.
I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, here's what I'm going to tell you guys, the Demetra K Show audience. We've been voting Democrat for 60 years, and we are 12 years away from zero wealth
Right.
as a whole. We need to try something different. This isn't working. Oh, it's socialism. Social Security is socialism. Medi-Cal is socialism.
Giant tax cuts.
Right. That's yeah. Why aren't you guys talking about the corporate socialism that goes on? Guys don't seem to have a problem with that.
Right.
So just think about it.
And Jonelle, you say that's not to mention the mental stability, the dealing with children, the various things women truly bear. We can't even fathom. We will faint on cravings alone.
Man.
We are born in our formulation for a reason. Reasons that divinely scripted in our DNA is not. It's not just okay. I'm a woman. Genetics don't work like that. Absolutely, that's what I said.
Oh my God.
I mean, it's. And I've heard other transgenders or transsexuals or best or whatever. I've heard them say that it's I say we don't get that service once a month. We cannot equate ourselves to women,
right,
or even think that we are on the same playing field as women.
Think about that. You're passing something the size of an NBA basketball between your loins. I mean, I can't even fathom that.
I think that people should, especially if they're entertaining doing that, they should be able to somehow have it simulated as to what that feels like.
Can't do it. And no matter how big you guys are, you guys can all do it. You know what I mean? Past that basketball. Some of them C-section and stuff, but more power to you guys. But like I said, there's nothing like a black woman. I'm sorry.
You better say it again for them in the back.
Nothing like a black woman. I'm sorry. I can't. Never been with a white woman. Never been with one.
And you never will.
Never will. Like Snoop said, 7 Up, never had it, never will.
And that's another thing too. Speaking of black women, Snoop was saying about Kanye. He was like, man, he needs to get with some black women, an auntie, something. Say he around all those white women and they're not snatching him up. He needs to get with some black women. They gonna tell him to sit his ass down.
yeah, but again, I'm not dogging Snoop. That chick that came out, she wasn't black.
What chick? What is you talking
about?
The
side chick that he got caught up with last month.
I never heard of
that. Never heard it? Go look it up. The girl exposed him because like Snoop sends her money and stuff, and
what do you see? Donovan be watching all this mess on YouTube and stuff.
No, the funny thing is that they say that he was sniffing cocaine off of her body.
They say.
Well, whatever this clip was that I saw.
Which site did you see this on? You know damn well what it was. It was some gossip stuff on YouTube.
Yeah.
Donovan, and you guys on the podcast, we will talk to you guys
later. No, I think the Empress channel said something
gossip. The gossip.
I told you. I think Philip Scott said something too.
I'm gonna look it up. Let me tell you a little bit. Let me tell you something about Donovan. Donovan is full-fledged retired. Okay. This dude has a TV right here. I ain't talking about little. He got a big ass TV behind here. He got like 5, 6 little TVs in the house. Okay. So Donovan sits on at home sometimes, most of the time, and he's doing research. He's watching divorce court. And he's watching parental court.
Right.
And he's eating his popcorn and drinking his sweet tea while y'all are passing it off as research. I saw it, trying to make it seem like he saw it on 60 Minutes or
Maury, and I'm doing all that stuff.
Snoop Dogg was sniffing cocaine.
That's what they're saying. That's what the girl put him on blast. Check out the Impressive channel and the Phil Scott show. I'm just going, and Phil Scott's a good source. He's a good source. Trey King, another good source, if you will. Oh, man.
Anyway, Jonelle says, right, there's nothing like a black woman. Who is Selena Powell?
Selena Powell.
Tell us, Sydney, who is Selena Powell? We don't know who that is.
No, it sounds familiar.
I don't know who that is. So, should I?
Oh, I think that's the name of the girl.
Sydney, you be watching this mess too?
I think that's the name of the chick, Selena Powell. Put him on blast. And his wife, that's what his wife had put something on Facebook and was like going off.
You know what? I'm so happy that I'm kind of off the grid. I don't be watching that stuff. I
and
don't. You know,
and
only
Steve's
reason
wife was
I know
at
about
war.
this stuff because my daughter might tell me here
Mhm.
and there, or I hear it from Donovan, and I'm like, who? I'm
Right.
off the grid, really. Like
Yeah,
I
the
don't.
side chick. Yeah, that's her. See, Sydney knows. He sniffs cocaine off of her butt cheeks or something. Something like that. That's what they say.
I'm finna look her up.
Selena Powell. She's a side chick. There she is.
She she
Right there. Yeah. Good one, Sydney.
she look like a sister. I know who this chick is, kinda. This is the one that be rolling around lying on people.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah.
she's lying
On the different
yeah. So how
stars and stuff. No, but they actually got a video of her
this is the
and
one
Snoop
that
in the
said
room.
that the card. Well, shut up. We ain't finna get into that. This is some gossip.
Well, what's wrong with gossip? If it's true, it's not gossip.
We're not gonna even get into that mess.
All right.
Dang it. Snoop got $160 million. I can't keep up with what Snoop is
And
doing.
putting cash apping
See?
money into his side chicks.
And I see, you see what you started?
Yeah, that's her. It is what it
Okay,
is.
I'm gonna say this.
All these stars
Either
share
she
chicks.
lying or she got some pow.
Yeah, because a lot of these guys get with her.
And if she lying, oh, I mean, if they are getting with her, it's like y'all ain't know that she just exposed this other dude and that dude and this dude and that
It's
dude.
just like Superhead. They don't care. They're just like, hey, I'm gonna get mine. Matter of fact, I'm still waiting for my turn with Superheads.
You wanted after all of that?
No, I just said Superhead. I didn't say I was gonna get anything. No, I'm just not. The woman is attractive though. But have you ever wondered why these?
That's what we gonna talk about some relationship stuff
Yes.
next. That's why y'all asses get in
Yeah.
trouble.
No.
Cause
But
y'all look at big booties,
exactly.
long 60-inch yacky wigs,
Exactly. But see,
and then you be
but why is it?
foreclosing on your house.
Yeah. But why is it that the chicks that are the most salacious are the ones that get wiped up? I always wondered that.
That's the ones y'all like.
I
Y'all
would wipe it
don't.
up. Ain't no fun if my homies can't
But what did you say you
have
like?
none. Huh?
What do you like?
I like the librarian
You would
looking black.
lie. You would lie. You would lie.
I like them voluptuous.
You like the ratchets.
Yeah, I like ratchets too, but I wouldn't wipe them. I would never wipe a ratchet. That's what you have fun with. I want me a Amanda Coulter type, nice and voluptuous, bowling balls, just everything. Bumpers in the front and the back.
Jeez Louise. Yeah, so you got my homies on here. And Jonah says she's the one, the side chicks that stalk celebs clearly.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
clearly,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. I can't really, I can't take that as gospel.
So
And
Luke not doing no coke. That ain't what the old girl said.
honestly, they gossiping on here. That's not they Donovan. Donovan on here gossiping. And Al says, speaking of gossip, there are some missed comments. Are they?
Can't trust a big button smile.
That's
Very true.
but that's what they get caught up down, and they get caught up with the big button, the smile. Did I miss some comments? I read that
Yeah,
about
we
your
read that.
theme song. I read
Return
them.
to the fight. Yeah, we're good.
I read them. And let's see. Uh, and he says, "Do you like Lizzo?"
I like her as an artist, but that pouch that she got, she's an attractive girl, but that pouch, I'm done for it because Dia tell you could be a big girl. My ex-wife was a big girl. As long as you got curves, if you got your curves, I'm good with that. But Lizzo, if she would tone it up a little bit, yeah, I'd date her. Sure. Why not?
I know you lying.
I would.
You lying.
But that
Because
pouch, it would
there
kill
was
me.
a woman that was sort of shaped like Lizzo that loved did some Donovan, Sadiq.
I can't do it.
But see,
No.
that's why I know you lying.
No. She's very pretty. But she's got to tone it up. Health reasons. That's just too much to deal with. Health reasons.
My comment to Donovan was this. What comment?
Which one?
Let's see.
I just Googled it. The side chick.
It said Selena
Yeah,
Powell. We
Selena
saw that,
Powell,
the
the
side
side
chick.
chick.
You just Googled it. Let's see what else.
Yeah, we saw that one.
I saw it. I want to say I don't think.
Referring to the fight, we saw that one. Yeah.
Yeah, we saw.
Okay.
Well, repeat it if you think it's something we missed, because so Another thing I should say to you guys, Marcus told me to remind you guys. Sometimes I don't see, like, there's a lot of people probably commenting for whatever reason I'm not seeing it on
Our
my
side.
end.
Yeah.
So I don't. Maybe you guys are making comments. Sometimes I don't see them. It's not me. It's Facebook. And honestly, Dash says Snoop keeps it green. Yes, he does. He be
Yes.
smoking.
Yes.
Cindy says Bernie ain't winning.
No, they're going to steal it from him, but
Who gonna be on the ticket?
well, Bernie's gonna, well, like I said, they're going to try to get Biden in there. But see, if the Democratic Party steals it like they did last time from him, the Democratic Party is done.
Trump
Because
FOMO
it's
years.
no. What I mean by done, I mean they're actually the Democratic Party is going to be fractured because the millennials are going to leave. They're the dominant voting class.
Right.
They're going to be done with it.
Right.
So if they try to steal it from them, they're only hurting themselves.
Well, what are the comments? I don't see them. You guys, please post them.
Repost them.
We don't see them. So, because like I said, a lot of times some of the comments from Marcus was telling me last week that I missed quite a few. And he said, but when he went back to him, he didn't see him anymore. So sometimes he said it might be a Facebook thing. So you say, Cindy, Bernie is going to win the nomination and get killed by Trump.
Yeah, most likely. But see, I'm going to have to not disagree with you, but I'm going to say this. The baby boomers, Generation Fail, there's not enough of them to outvote the millennials. They're the dominant voting bloc. So if the millennials came out like they did in Las Vegas, in Nevada, there's not going to be enough of them. I'm telling you, it's going to be a close.
And they love Bernie.
Right, and Trump only has a third of people that support him. So there's a good chance if they don't steal it from Bernie, those millennials are going to come out because they see the future.
And then you got to think about it too. And I'm not trying to defend Bernie, but you got to think about it. The people like to Donovan's point, the millennials who are voting for him, they're the ones that can't move out of mama's house, daddy's house.
Right.
They're the ones that are strapped with a whole bunch of student loans. And they're the ones that are applying to jobs. Okay, well, tell me what the comments are, Mr. Jackson, because we don't see them. So
we don't see them.
Like you spending time to tell me I missed comments. You said it to me 3-4 times, but you ain't telling me what the comment is, brother. So the point that I'm making is, so the people who are voting for Bernie are the people who need what he's offering.
Right.
They like. It's frustrating for somebody to go, and my daughter's a millennial, has got a degree. But
how dare you put me in this debt?
Right. How dare you bring me in this world into struggle is what my daughter said. So I shouldn't expect her to do nothing because she didn't ask to be here. Right. What she told me. She tells me that often. But so he's offering things for them to help them get out from some people will die with student loan debt. You know what I mean? And we can go into that argument. I choose not to. So Bernie is offering a lot of things that will help, especially the millennials, because, oh, shoot. I don't know. It's not.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
So those people, like the baby boomers, if you will, they've got theirs. They're gonna die no time soon, I hope, but they're eventually gonna die. But they're not in the position that a lot of millennials and people my age are in. Not being able to acquire what they would say the American dream and all that, because there's just so much debt. And so I can see Bernie doing rather well. I think his message is catching on.
And then you got to think about the Latino vote, Hispanic vote, whatever. These guys, it's life or death for them. So they know they're not voting Republican. They're going to vote overwhelmingly Democrat.
Well, so you see, Cindy is saying, I guarantee New York City will go Republican for the first time in history.
Probably, but I don't know. Those millennials, I'm telling you, there's not enough baby boomers around to matter. When Bernie Sanders, when all the major networks called that election, that primary, within 3 hours, they were like, it's done, with only like 10% of the votes in. That's how overwhelming it was.
Right.
It was just unbelievable. So,
right.
And this is on the West Side. So you have a lot of people and a lot of delegates and stuff. I don't know. Trump only has a third of support, hardcore supporters. And a lot of these women that don't like his bullshit, and the people that stand up for democracy, that, stand up for the government and law and order, he's going to lose those people. So I don't know. It's possible if he doesn't get cheated, he could be.
I mean, anything is possible. And so, Arson, what's happening, man? You said hi, guys. I know I arrived toward the end. I just saw the title. I just want to say that I don't believe there is any leader currently out there that cannot be bought. Overall, the last election, I had hope for Bernie until the reparations comment. I feel like we are back at the same point where you guys will need a you said an R. I don't know what the behind that. No matter who is sitting in the White House, that's on a third party to vote from. But you guys have said it all before. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. There's never going to be a third party to rise.
Yes, Macy. And she says, tell to Al, tell her just like last week, anything that mentions coming to Africa is getting blocked by Facebook, and that's what Marcus was telling me.
Yes.
That a lot of people were making comments about Africa and stuff. I didn't see, and he said that when he would go back, he didn't see them anymore, so they were getting deleted. Because we talked after the show. He goes, "You didn't see a lot of." I said, "No, I didn't see them." I said, "I'm reading everything I see." And Donovan's got two pair. Well, four eyes. Four eyes, and he can see what I see. So I apologize, but sometimes I just really don't see the comments for whatever reason. And I believe it's probably an algorithm thing where they are blocking certain words. Cindy says, "Did you read Sotomayor's comments?"
Not yet, but I heard that she wrote something in regards to the Republicans.
She was saying that and I'm paraphrasing, that if people don't make the right decisions, that they will lose the democracy in the Supreme Court for forever.
But but speaking as a black person, is it really going to matter to me? When you're at the bottom, is it really going to, how does that affect me?
Right.
It might be a better situation.
Yeah, because at this point, RBG, Ginsburg, she's hanging on by a thread, but if she goes.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, though, in this system, we're at the bottom. How much worse can it get?
Right. And honestly, you say, do you think we'll ever have a good leader and leaders?
Yes, there are good leaders out there.
There's still good leaders, but you know what, honesty? Like Farrakhan did the Savior's Day address today. He's a good leader, but there's a lot of people, including black people, who discount everything he does. And he's been
consistent
and continuing on the blueprint that was started really by your Marcus Garvey's and Elijah Muhammad's. They're just continuing on, but we have been taught to, and it's just something that's ingrained in us from slavery, just been taught to go against people who are really trying to liberate us. And so, we have good leaders, but unfortunately, the ones that we follow are the ones that aren't helping us be liberated at all.
At all.
And then Arson, you say, quick reminder on a totally different subject. Everyone, Donovan and Demetra's brother have said this before. The weed stocks are very cheap right now. The other day, Aurora,
was at $2.18.
$2.18 in Canadian currency, meaning it was around $1.50 in U.S. currency. Yes, and I bought some more of the mugs too.
Right.
Man, the stock market is doing okay.
Yes, and think about this. Bernie just said that. As a matter of fact, we're a couple steps away. He said that we are definitely going to legalize marijuana if he gets elected. So that's going to galvanize a lot of millennials and other people to get it on the federal level. Once that thing gets on the federal level, those stocks are going to go up to at least $63. At least $63. So keep buying.
That's what I do every week.
Keep buying. Yeah,
I buy some.
Keep buying.
I don't have as many as you got, but I'm catching you.
That's right. We're going to do some socialism and going together.
All right, I'm with it. And then Al says, I didn't see anything about Africa exactly. Nobody did. They were getting deleted. And then Cindy says yes, and Macy says you really need to just come home. This is the fight you can win, but to wait and fight it when you can't will soon come too. Yeah, absolutely. And now I was talking to my niece about that last night. Telling her where. A lot of times we talk about the zombie apocalypse and stuff like that, and Armageddon is coming. But a couple years ago it was like ha. But now we're at a point to where we know it's coming. So are you prepared? And
we know it's coming.
Yeah, it's here. And that's what I told her. It's already at our front doorstep. Some of us will be able to hold it off for a minute, but
look at this pandemic. That's going around the world.
Right. And that's how we got to talking about the coronavirus. And honestly, it says, I wish the world was different. You know what?
Bernie did say that in his acceptance speech in Nevada. He put down his list of what he is going to do when he becomes president. He says we are going to, everything that, as we already know, he said marijuana is going to be legal in the United States. Period. We are one of the most modern countries. We don't have legalized. Canada has it.
Well, you know why they legalized? Because they need to keep that prison
exactly
pumping that other business.
And Bernie said that we're shutting down private prisons.
Yeah, they got it. Yeah,
he said we're done with that. Now, who does that affect? The Clintons. Who else? The Epsteins. Who else? The Bidens. Who else?
Right.
The Trumps.
So they really trying to keep him from.
They all are deep into the prison industrial complex.
Oh yeah, for
the
sure.
Bushes, all
for
of
sure.
them.
It's big.
Bernie said we're doing away with that.
Big money.
Doing away with it.
And let's see. And Archer says, "Oh my God, Bernie said that."
He sure did.
And then Cindy says, "Your district court Ninth Circuit can be changed. Just remember, a lot of civil rights cases were upheld by the Ninth Circuit." Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, you got a lot of stuff on the line, but I mean, godly, I mean, you know, I don't want to get into that because it just open up a whole can of worms. But you know, Black people are being told that it is our responsibility to get rid of Trump. We should be in fear of Trump.
No.
We should be in fear of. I mean, hell, like, what more can happen to Black people at this point that hasn't already happened?
And why does everything fall on our shoulders? We got to fight to help the Mexicans,
and we're not
at the border.
Anything for
we got to fight to help the Asians from Vietnam, and they get all these loans. We got to fight the white man. Why is we got to do everything? And then when we ask for a few crumbs, we're gonna have a study. We're gonna study it.
And honestly, you say I don't want it legalized. It's going to be taxed and it's going to cost more.
Yeah, but guess what? That black market.
You know what I'm saying? Right.
On the corner,
right.
You always have that dime
bag. Right. Exactly. You know, and y'all, I don't smoke weed, never have. Either, yeah. But y'all know the federal government weed ain't gonna have no seasoning.
Exactly.
They're gonna give y'all that watered down weed.
And then and you guys know us. When you go in the store like that, you got to have a receipt. And you want to track your shit. Who's buying what? We ain't doing that.
Al said I read his comment wrong. He didn't say anything about Africa. No, but the point that we're making is last week there was people who made comments about Africa and they didn't make it on here. And honestly says, but there are people that are over Sanders going to let him make things better.
Well, let me answer that real quick. As you see, Donald Trump doesn't give a damn about the rule of law. That is now set as precedence because the Republican senators didn't want to do their job. So what do you think is going to happen when another president gets in there? They're going to say, don't give a shit. Make it happen.
Where the money at?
Exactly. And they're going to go right along with it because a lot of those Democrats are in districts that have Hispanic, Black, whatever people. They want to keep their seats. They better go along with the program.
Right. And Donnie, you say stats in terms of millions boomers, 72.56 Gen X, 65.45 millennials, 72.06 Gen Z's, 90.55. This is the generation that mimics parents.
Yeah, Generation X, we mimic our parents, and they mimic theirs. But if you put the boomers by themselves, Generation Xers, our generation, some of us are still struggling to have homes. So because we want our kids out of our situation, right? We're gonna vote Bernie to get them out. So they're going to be outnumbered. That's just how it is. The baby boomers are not a factor when it comes to elections anymore. They're just done.
Right. And Macy says, just a note, I have posted several comments that you did not see until you said something about it. Now you see it. Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, see, and I'm telling you guys, I'm reading everything that comes across this screen. But I do know, and I've heard a couple other people say that some comments are just not making it. But because in fact, it was Marcus that told me, Macy, that you made a lot of comments about Africa last week, and I said I didn't see any comments about Africa. So he said again when he went back to look, they weren't there either. So I don't know what's going on. But my apologies that you guys took the time to write that, and then they're just not there, and I didn't see them. So I apologize for
Yeah,
that.
they're all popping up now.
Right.
Something's popping up.
And then Honesty says, I like my
25th.
my 25th,
And eighth.
and I'm a $25 eighth.
There you go.
And then he says, hello. Okay. And then
Mhm.
Pamela says, please call me Donovan. Can you call Pamela?
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right.
Okay. And and Arson says,
Him saying this about all the private prisons.
he says, wait a second, him saying all this about private prisons aren't the people, Donovan, aren't the people he will disturb too big for him to even make it as a president? Aren't the affected players you mentioned too much of a big guns? I don't believe any of them will accept taking a loss. We need to get a careful, be careful, and ask ourselves, what is it that they are going to fill up these prisons? Because I highly doubt that taking a loss is an option to them. We will somehow still be at the bottom. I'm just not sure what angle we will be attacked from.
Correct.
Well, I mean,
okay, here's what they're going to do when it comes to the prisons. And I know a lot of people don't want to believe this, but it's the truth. He's going to close the prisons. There's no doubt about it because it's not a popular thing. It affects the Black community, right? So Ray Ray and Pookie, instead of going down to San Quentin, they're gonna make them stay at home on the ankle bracelets, and they're gonna make the families take care of them.
I thought you said they're gonna make them go to the weed farms.
And maybe something like that. But that's but that's where it's gonna come to. They're gonna put ankle bracelets on them and keep them in the community. That's the next thing.
Yeah, because there's a lot of money in that as well. And Cindy says you have to. I think you said read.
Came out. Okay. I'm gonna read it.
We'll read it. Honestly, that's crazy. Comments about Africa are being deleted. Just sad. Yeah, I'm seeing stuff about Africa now, but I haven't seen them in the past. Trust me, I love Africa. I'm dying to go back.
Yep.
So I would love nothing more but to talk about Africa.
Al said she's not allowed to go back because you might not come back.
So. Right, okay. and Arson says, well, if the African comments are somehow being removed, will you two have more attention than I thought? Oh, trust me, we do.
Yes.
We do.
Especially my show.
I got ran up on at the Black History Parade by our congressman.
Right. Yeah, right. People always say, oh, we don't listen to your show, but they could point her out. They can point me out.
And I was just standing there minding my business, soaking up the sunshine, watching the drill team and stuff, and whatever. Yeah. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm very militant on my show, so.
Right, you done dragged me in on your mess.
He's famous now.
And Mason said, speak on the newfound info that shows Black people are being separated and denied certain info through the phone that are using, I think he said, our cameras to keep up with us and what we Google. Well, you know, I'm big on talking about AI, artificial intelligence. I think we as Black people especially need to get familiar with that. Andrew Yang, before he left the race, trying to tell us, especially Black people, about AI going to affect our wealth, what's left of it. As Donovan alluded to earlier, 12 years from now, we will be at zero wealth as Black people, and AI is a big contributor to that. We also know that AI, they said that the minute they being your Elon Musk, your Bill Gates, and your Stephen Hawking, all these people that dabble in AI, if you will, said that the only thing that's stopping AI right now from taking over us is them becoming self-aware. The minute they become self-aware, it is over for us as humans. And they asked us and then pressed upon and pleading to us, they being the aforementioned people I mentioned, for us to figure out a way to get along with AI and to live with AI, or not to be so cavalier and thinking we as humans are always going to be the smarter thing, if you will, because when they become self-aware, as you guys have seen in the Terminator, it's over. And so, yes, we're being listened to.
Yeah.
Yes, we're being watched.
Like when you were talking just now, talking about the algorithms. The AI is learning from your Google Home, your Alexa, and stuff like that, and that's where they're getting their information and what we talk, what we.
I mean, they've admitted they have the ability to listen to you. My daughter tried to give me one of those things, and I said, "Don't plug that mess up in here. I'm good.
Yeah,
I don't
on
need
your
that.
phone too. Yeah, put in your phone. So,
and I'm gonna give me a flip phone.
Yeah, A big part of the AI though is these Google Homes and Alexas and stuff like that.
And everybody just people don't realize how plugged up you are.
Yeah.
And I know we're going over,
Yeah,
but I don't think we realize how plugged up we are into everybody's portal, all your information. Like we live in an information society, so you can't avoid it. I mean, there's a lot of things you can't do unless you use a computer now, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think sometimes we have to take a look and ask ourselves, do I really need a doorbell that's hooked to the internet, hooked to the internet? Do I need an Alexa in my house? Do I need cameras
Do I
everywhere?
need a smart thermostat because now they're getting to your
Yeah,
temperature,
I mean,
all this
I
stuff.
mean,
Yeah.
like, so we are
They're
slowly
gathering
losing
information.
control, and we
Mm-hmm.
don't realize that we are losing control because we have this thing called FOMO, fear of missing
Mm-hmm.
out. Well, if like, I don't have an electric watch, I don't want one. I don't want every part of my body hooked up when I see that's
Yeah.
how. What do you call it? The smart watches.
Smartwatch.
You
Yeah, I
know,
don't want all that.
you're everywhere. Your every move is being documented.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your heart rate, everything is like.
But in the words of Trump, I'll be dead by the time I had the deficit. Oh, I'll be dead. I'll be out of office. No big deal.
Hey, Kim, he says FBI is doing it.
No, FB is doing
On Facebook, I'm
it.
sorry, now I can't read. Now I can't read. Oh yeah, Facebook, and they've admitted they've gotten caught for doing it. And Cindy says, I have a friend who was in Africa who was put in Facebook jail because she went live. Damn.
That didn't happen to us, thank God. So.
And Macy says, Marcus is my baby. Love that glorious black man. I know that's right.
There you go.
Yeah, Marcus is a real one. We love Marcus too. And then you also say, Kim, they control their site on the real. Yeah, I mean, and we really can't be mad at it. I mean, that it's theirs, right? And Donna says, picking weed with the ankle bracelet on naked, right? And what can you do about
what
it?
can you do? What can you do at that point?
If we ever get in trouble, we're gonna be in the field picking weed.
No, I'll be in Africa with Mama Zulu. No, I'll be in Africa with you with at the airport selling our trinkets.
Right. Okay. And it honestly says, I want to go. I've seen pictures. It's so beautiful and peaceful looking.
Oh my
Yes,
gosh.
yes,
Look,
yes.
I'm going to tell you, if you haven't gone,
Go.
go. You will not want to go to the Caribbean anymore. I'm telling you, you will be surprised at the ignorance that has prevailed us here.
Donovan, when we was on the way back, was trying to get snatched up.
Yes, I tried to get arrested at the airport.
He's like, I ain't trying to go back.
I went up to the policeman and I said, what do I have to do to get arrested? Yeah. He was like, huh? What?
And Arson says, oh my God, I know what you guys say is true, but we don't think about it enough. It's just crazy how we could be the creators of our destroyers. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's what man is good at doing. Yeah. And Donna, you say TVs, computers, phones, Siri, Google, all in your business. This is how criminals get caught. Not to mention, what does that say? Ancestors.com and all the other DNA tracking.
Yeah. Oh my God. These people who give their DNA up to the DNA, I know I'm from Africa somewhere, via whatever. They're finding guys that have like old cold case files where the guy had raped the chick.
We want to know who his mama's people was.
Right. But man, don't give that stuff up because now.
Well, my brother did it for us, and we got to say mama and daddy. Right, so
well, if you have nothing to worry about, but I'm just saying, if you're one of those people that are involved in crimes and things, it opens up a whole can of worms. Right.
Man. And so anyway, you guys, I don't see any more comments. I thank you so much for going over time with us. As always, it is our pleasure. YouTube, if you stayed this long, I really want to say you a real one. Yes. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to this channel for more insightful commentary. And the Facebook, thank you as always for everything you do, being the other side of the conversation. Donovan, thank you so much for everything you do behind the scenes and over the scenes and under the scenes, everything. Marcus, thank you so much for everything that you do and all the people that you have helping you. We
could not do any comments or suggestions of topics.
Come on through, because we gonna start making up stuff after a while. No, I'm just kidding. So anyway, you guys, and then Mason leaving, you says we would be interested in meeting Mr. Would you be interested? Yes. Would you be interested in meeting Mr. Malima with Marcus? We are here helping him get in contact so that the EFF message can spread to the U.S. Please. Yes. We were trying to go to the EFF headquarters.
But guess who died? Remember when we
were there? Yeah. They weren't there. That's right.
They weren't there. We went over and the guy in Zimbabwe,
Mugabe died.
And all the black leaders went.
Yeah, but yes, absolutely. Yes, I always say that Malima is my my intellectual political crush. Yes. Please do. Anyway, and honestly says Flash. Okay, yes, we are out of here. We will see you guys in a few days. Peace.
Peace.